Happy Friday. Welcome to our witchy hangout. How is everybody doing? I love that you guys are just like so chatty with each other like every morning. I love it. Alex was like just saying that too. He's like, I love that like every time I kind of like log on here, there's already a conversation going and people are so like lovely. And Heather, thank you so much for the super chat already. Alex was like, dang girl. So thank you so much. Okay, happy Chipotle day. We got sushi last week, just saying. We switched it up and it was a happy endeavor. I haven't had sushi in so long. It was so good. Okay, so, I want to tell you guys before we get into this reading, I have been on the interwebs and stuff as you do this week, and twice on two different videos that I was watching, somebody said something like offhanded about witches or something, and there was somebody in the comments that was like, hey, be respectful to witches, or we have freedom of religion too, at least in the US we do. I know not everyone is fortunate like that, but, and people actually they were like, yeah, sorry, I know a lot of witches and they're really cool. So I feel like there's a lot of us, there's strength in numbers is what I'm hearing. But also, I don't know, I feel like that was really amazing for me to see and hear on such this was mainstream stuff. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought that was really cool. Anyways, so today we are getting into the chosen topic, which is their hidden feelings. I haven't done one like this in quite a while, so we're going to get into what are their hidden feelings. If you guys watched the channeled message that I recently put out and you're resonating with that at all, I do know that there's somebody's energy who's kind of fixated on you here at this time, and they are kind of trying to break into this space. So I always pray and everything, and I try to set the energy before we get into this, whatever messages are coming through me now and always unfold for the highest vibrational good of all beings. And so, there's a little bit of just kind of release. I would tell you that I'm going to try to kind of muscle that energy away if I'm picking up on it. But honestly, if it is coming through for the highest vibrational good of all, then, who am I to judge or try to get in the way of that? I just try to, I trust my process. I trust my practice at this point, that whatever is the best is going to come through, and that you guys are going to manage, yourselves. However, I just have an immense amount of trust in the process and whatever way that it's meant to unfold. But I just want you to know that I'm aware that there's somebody here who's I don't know, trying to get into your space that you maybe are trying to let go of or release, or ask them politely to release you. Whatever is going on. Okay, so with that being said, we have the three piles here, but I do just want to point out sometimes we get an anchor card, and I always find that so interesting whenever we do. And this week we actually had two anchor cards, and both of them, if you guys are familiar with the not Caroline Miss. This is the Archetypes deck from, oh my gosh, Kim Kranz. I love her artwork. I love her artistry. And I also love just her mind and spirit, and just the little, they're brief explanations in this book, but they are just so heavy hitting. They're so potent. They're just, it's chef's kiss. But anyways, the anchor cards for this week, these are in the section that it's an alchemical process and initiation. So these are at the end of the deck. These are very spiritual cards, and we have two of them, and it's sequential, one right after the other, the Kairos and the Aletheia. And I just wanted to let you know that we have some really powerful, heavy hitting, soul grounded anchor cards for all three of the piles coming through here this week. So that tells me that there is something higher order going on. There's something more spiritual that's unfolding that I'm hearing it may or may not always make sense to you how everything's unfolding in the material realm, but there's a higher perspective or a higher agenda or a higher order that's kind of unfolding or going on here, maybe through the feeling space between you and this person. And I just heard, don't take the feeling space for granted. It's not lightweight energy. It's not frivolous. It's data, it's information, and it's something that you're meant to actually be working with in order to initiate yourself here, maybe into a higher understanding or a higher realm. And that's the perspective and the lens that they want you to be seeing the message through. However, this bubblegum is what I'm hearing. However, bubblegum, what are their feelings for me might seem. Feelings are actually a really important energy to be working with, to understand. It's they're saying it's an energy space. So that's just the perspective that they're wanting you to have while kind of going through this. Okay, so I'm going to hold up all three of these piles. I know that you can see them on the thumbnail, but just in case some people are like this way better. So the first pile we have is the vow. That's pile number 1. And the second one we have is the crone. This is pile number 2. And then pile number 3 is the sword. Pile number 3. Okay, so I'm going to hold all these up. So this side is pile number 1, this one is pile number 2, and this one is pile number 3. So just do your thing with this, bring your energy down to like that relaxed, peaceful state where you can hear your intuition and, soften the gaze and allow yourself to be drawn in to whatever pile you are drawn into, or multiple piles, keeping in mind that sometimes the way that you get to the message that you are meant to receive can sometimes tell you a lot about your own energy or your perspective. If you go through a couple of piles and you're like, these aren't my piles, but then finally the third pile you check is the one that you're going through, that can potentially tell you something about how something's going to unfold in the sequence, or maybe what you're gifting to other people before this kind of clicks in for you. Or it could let you know that maybe you're not as tapped in with your intuition as you usually are, or as spirit would like for you to be. And so there could be things that you're kind of missing, or it's like, well, I thought that it was this, but then it was that, or that could, reflect somebody else's. But everything that happens here in this space is a message. It's something to be learned from. It's something that potentially, this is like a microcosm of your situation, everything that kind of unfolds here in this space. So just keep that in mind and know that nothing is off limits. Like as you're trying to kind of understand yourself and your feelings and their feelings in this situation and your connection and your relationship and all of this, like on everything's always kind of expressing at once. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into pile number 1. Whew, I feel like intimidated by this. Okay. Hey guys. Okay, I'm gonna not look at the chat. I love that I can like recognize people and I like actually know people. Okay, so pile number 1. I feel a little bit like trepidatious. I just heard I recognize the way you make me feel. Okay. So I'm getting here that there is somebody here who is really, really advanced spiritually. They're very high vibrational. And when I'm using that word advanced, like they say that the soul makes its way throughout the zodiac. And that's not to say that, there's things that means and there's things that doesn't mean, right? But kind of the energy that I'm getting is I feel like this person is releasing on a lot of things here that they have karmic ties to and that have potentially kept them bound. And your connection, they're starting to kind of wake up and realize a higher perspective to it, that there's something here that kind of like always hooks them, or that they didn't see clearly, or that they need to like let go of for whatever reason. And they're realizing that it's attached to other things, or again, that it reminds them of other things, people, places, situations, things that aren't necessarily good for them. So again, I'm hearing, I recognize the way you make me feel. This is also, that's why I'm picking up on the fact that this person is like very developed, at least like spiritually, socially, emotionally. They're very highly developed, because that there's so much in that statement. I recognize the way you make me feel. They're not saying anything about you. They're not saying, it's like, I recognize the way you make me feel. This is a person who knows like that they're getting information and that they are to be, this is a person who is living from a first person perspective in a really, really healthy way. A lot of times we get people who, like we pick up on people where it's like a very egocentric perspective and they're very selfish and they're living very much from that first person perspective, but not in a healthy way. Like it makes them blind to other people's needs, or it makes them selfish. It makes them limited or, aggressive. But this person, it's very healthy. It's like, I'm hearing they're sure of themselves and they're confident, but they hold that very, very lightly. But they're very confident in the decisions that they've made. And they're giving me kind of the impression here of like an allergy. So, for instance, like spinach, is something that's like universally considered very good for you, right? But that doesn't mean that everybody can just be eating that spinach out here. Like there are some people who have an allergy to spinach. So if you walk up to somebody who has an allergy to spinach and you're like, spinach is good for you, like open up, like Popeye says to eat your spinach, and you're like pushing spinach into somebody's mouth because spinach is good for you. Well, en masse, yeah, that's probably true for most people, but not for everybody. And that's where each one of our experiences is our own. And I feel like this person is kind of recognizing, like I'm picturing them having some kind of an allergic reaction. And this person may actually be having some kind of a reaction, or they could be having some kind of reaction in their body that actually it's kind of like a rejection. And they're showing me like on a spiritual level, it's a rejection here of the world. Like, the gravity here of like the 3-dimensional space, like the matrix, basically, like it's kind of rejecting it, which is why I'm telling you that this person is advanced. This is somebody who's probably not in a cave somewhere meditating, but they're still going through that process of releasing the world more and more and more and more and more, and like joining with spirit or like connecting with that. And this connection has really been like a part of it. Now, I don't know if you can see this, okay? I feel like there is some distortions here. There's some messy karma and some like messy situations. There's something that's gone on here, and it feels like, again, there was a tire, there was a vow potentially. Maybe you thought this was like a very like high spiritual connection, and it is. It just might not be in the way that you think, or the energy has turned, because I am kind of getting a cattywampus. Like somebody here is willing to be truthful and willing to like, I'm hearing, like that part in Beauty and the Beast. I've been getting this a lot lately. The part where she says, come into the light. Like before she swaps herself out for her father, she's like, come into the light. There's one person here who's willing to act in the light, who's willing to come into the light. They're not gaslighting. They're not distorting. They're not trying to tell somebody else what's better for them. There's somebody here who is, again, they know who they are. They're willing to deal in the light. And there's somebody here where that's not exactly comfortable. And so I'm hearing that comes out there's distortions here, because it's not necessarily that this person is even altogether conscious about the fact that they're unwilling to bear their soul in a way. They're unwilling to come into the light. It's like, it's ego defense mechanisms is what it is, that this person is meant to be becoming aware of the fact that they project out onto other people what's actually true for them, or, and I even hesitate to get in with this too much, because I feel like it's that misunderstood. Like it's somebody here is too quick to solidify their own position, where somebody else here, like I think that they've made a decision, and there's actually been, I'm seeing like many moons. There's actually been quite a bit of reflection here. There has been a consideration of like somebody else and somebody else's feelings and what they may or may not need, and realizing that I'm hearing Nicki Minaj in my head. Like she was on Ellen one time, and Ellen was like, what do you think about people saying that your music's not for their children or whatever? And she goes, I realize that I'm not their parents. She's an artist. She makes whatever she makes. She puts it out into the world. It's not her job to like, funnel certain things. She can only be true to herself. She can only be authentic, and she can only, put that out into the world. If just because certain people don't like her approach or something, it doesn't mean that she has to change fundamentally every single thing about her. She needs to function as a person and as somebody who's a creative, and she needs to be true to her vision and all of that. And so there feels like there's a bit of a back and forth here going on. And I'm seeing like the dove, like there is spiritual energy here into this, but there's something about it. Again, like I'm seeing the yellow that looks like maybe playful, or so there could be something here as well where it's like somebody is realizing that there's a connection here. Okay. There's some kind of a connection here, but it's something like, you're really good natured. You're really funny. You make me laugh. But it doesn't mean that I feel loved, or that I feel safe, or that I feel reciprocal. And I have to feel those ways. I'm a limited person. I can make a limited amount of connections, and you're going to honor that in me or not. And there feels like somebody here potentially wants to like be let go in this situation. Now they're showing me something else, and I feel like this is where we're getting into the anchor cards here a bit. This is like heavy hitting soul energy, because they're showing me two kind of like blobs like floating in space. And I think this kind of comes from like if you're familiar with like Edgar Cayce and his like things that he's channeled, there's like soul groups, that's kind of what I'm getting. But each of these soul groups is coming through like its own organism to me, like that I'm picturing. So it's like these two blobs, which I think again are soul groups. And that's what, there's something here that this person who is actually very spiritually advanced, they're very high vibrational, and they're very socially, emotionally intelligent. So there's another thing here where it's like somebody here they are not as advanced as this person. And I don't mean that as a slight. Okay. Everybody's on their journey, and this person is trying to engage in their journey. There's almost a desperation and they're overdoing it is what I'm hearing. They need to relax. They need to accept. Like that's really the challenge here, is like accepting that somebody's made a decision about you, and honoring like the boundary, or honoring that you might not understand that this person's allergic to spinach, and you might be the spinach and you're perfectly fine to everyone else. You're perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just this, I recognize the way you make me feel. This person is like, I recognize that this energy is not necessarily the best for me, like right now, right? So there's something here like that whoever like is doing it's like they're doing too much, and they're trying to like, they're overdoing it. Anyways, back to like these like the soul groups that are showing up as like single individuals. There's something going on behind the scenes here, is like kind of what I'm getting at on a spiritual level, that this higher vibrational, like spiritual person, I don't think they're even conscious that this is what they're picking up on, but there's something here that they're picking up on that, I'm hearing. It's like, you're the one I wanted. Like you're the one that I tried to hold on to. You're the person that I loved. Is this a Michelle Branch song? Hold on. the one thing that I tried to hold on to. Yeah, there's something about that. Goodbye to you. Goodbye to you. Yeah, you were the one I loved. Like, and it has to do with like, you really make me laugh. Like, you really make me have a good time. But I recognize that something about this isn't good for me. I still don't feel the big rocks that we should have in the bottom of I feel safe and I feel contained and I feel protected. My energy can calm down and relax around you. There's something here. It's like the fundamentals weren't missing. But it's like this person's attachment to this other person, okay, was really actually forming some kind of attachment to this overall soul group. Okay. And so I think this spiritual person has seen kind of similar energies, and it's a betrayal energy that I'm picking up on. Like they maybe had made some kind of a vow and they're showing me rescuer, victim, persecutor, but on a bigger scale of I want to come in because I'm high vibrational, because I have so much empathy, because I have so much compassion. I want to try to save you from yourself. And I think this is, again, it's a higher vibrational lesson of like, you can't do it for people. Like, you can only make your decisions. Sometimes, even though you have so much love, losing you is the best thing for another person. And them grappling with that. Yeah, they don't understand. They're confused. My cat has to go to the vet sometimes. She doesn't understand that that's for her highest and greatest good. And she doesn't speak English. And I wish so much that I could tell her that she has to get her shot, or she's not going to be healthy. She had to get the surgery that she got. She had to get that. She's scared, and I know that. And I know that it makes her not trust me, but it's still for her highest and greatest good. She doesn't have the cognitive capacity to understand that. And there's something going on here, but like on a spiritual kind of wisdom-based etheric sort of a level. It's like, I know you're not going to understand, but it breaks my heart too, but like letting you go is what you need. And I learned about something too. It's called like the Brandolini law, and where it's like to explain something, like when somebody has the wrong perspective about something, they can just kind of throw it out there. It's easy to just throw it out there, and it takes on an order of magnitude more energy to try and explain something that somebody doesn't understand to them, because you have to break down like the ideology that's wrong. You have to then show them kind of why it's wrong. You have to establish the fundamentals and the actual baseline, the actual truth of the situation. And then you have to reconfigure that about like, see, this is actually how it's working. So it's an order of magnitude on someone where it's not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility that this person understands. It's their responsibility to make sure that they understand things. And as human beings, I feel like there's, again, this is something on a higher vibrational spiritual level that's going on here. We create constructs in our minds. We create the way that we think the world works. We create, again, like just constructs. We create stories. And then we operate within those stories. So we're very prone to like delusion. And I feel like, again, I think a big part of the thing that we're trying to do here is we're trying to get closer and closer to the truth. Because if you're not dealing in reality, you do sort of leave yourself wide open. You do step in it, and you don't mean to. You make mistakes, but it's because you don't see things clearly. You're not seeing, and that's what's going on here. Is like, I think this higher vibrational person, again, there's something about them that maybe, again, looks very lightweight. You're very sweet, you're very fun, you're very playful, you're witty, you make me laugh. And people who usually do that, they're very lightweight energies. Never in my experience is that person a lightweight energy, but some people have that perspective, that because they're making the energy around them light, that they themselves are kind of lightweight. And so it's like you don't have the truth of this person, and so therefore you acted in a way that you shouldn't have acted. And you were surprised by their reaction. All of that just tells you that you don't have the truth. You're not actually dealing in the truth. And the fact that you kind of can't come to that conclusion, that you're not, again, like I was saying, this higher vibrational person, they're sitting very strongly and confidently in their energy, but they hold it lightly, which means they're willing to kind of like make the changes that they need to make. So that's what's going on here. It's not their responsibility. I just heard it's not their responsibility. So there's an attachment here. And this higher vibrational spiritual person, it's like they get wrapped up in this group that's really one organism on the other side. I know it's like one soul group that's not as advanced as them. They're showing me kind of children, like, you know, it's like they're immature, and so they step in it, they do the wrong things. And this person, they're just showing me like they get hit in the face, they get hit in the gut, they get hit in the, you know, and it's like that rescuer, victim, persecutor thing. It's like, well, you know, I have compassion because they don't know what they're doing. Lord, forgive them. They know not what they do. Like this person's always doing that. They're always making excuses. And at some point, it's like this, I think this higher vibrational person, it's like they have to let go. They have to, it's hard, but they have to let them learn their own lessons the hard way, because actually this person has become a crutch. This person is actually feeding in to somebody else's delusion, or like, again, they're not meant to be used as a crutch. It's like you're at the point where you need to start walking. You need to start putting your weight on both legs evenly. This is something you need. You're too dependent on my energy or something like that. Or I'm too dependent on you. We're both getting our identities from each other in the wrong way. I am not going to get I just heard you make me feel like I need you to accept me, or that I need your okay or your sign off or your permission to just exist as the way I am. You can either accept me or not accept me, because I'm done. Like, I'm just hearing, I'm done. This is something you not dealing on your own plate. I'm seeing, I think this is on Patrick Teahan's community board. It was like a circle that was round, and it was like cut in the middle, and it was like partnership, and it was like, this is their half and this is your half. But when somebody's not dealing in their own half and they're not understanding, they're doing too much out here, like towards you, or I got this in the, they need to have a conversation with you all the time. They're not able to go within. Then like it shows your half and it's like broken up in two, and then none of their half ever gets done. So again, it's like way out of balance. But this person, they don't understand. They don't have the lens to see it. They don't understand that they're not dealing with their own shit, and that they need to leave you alone, because this person just keeps reaching out for you. I need you. But also, they didn't treat you respectfully, or they didn't treat you special, and you were special, and you did do something for them. And I feel like this person acted out of their integrity, or treated you poorly, or didn't give you love or grace or elasticity, and then didn't take responsibility for the fact that that you did one thing that they didn't like, and you did 99 things that they love, and that they treated you as the one thing that they didn't like, and not the 99 things that they love about you. And this is their karma. This is their karma that's kind of like unfolding. So I see somebody, like, you can see the masculine's hands kind of grabbing the feminine, like, please don't go, please don't go. Like, that's what I'm getting. Like, please don't go. And she's begging for her freedom. She's like, you have to let me go. Because I feel like there was potential in the past for there to be a path together if this person was able to do all of the things, right? Because it shows that these two people can be around each other and there's not an allergy going on. It's like, I was hoping that you would love me enough to want to take the journey with me. But obviously that's not what happened. You love something else more. You love coddling your ego more. You love the party scene more. You love not being accountable more. You love something else more than, trying to get along. And I'm letting go. And this feels like letting go of one person. But like I said, I think it's letting go of an entire soul group. And the way that soul group functions, because this higher vibrational being has a lot of compassion for that, and thought they could help, and thought that they could pull them out of something here. Thought that it would be easy. Thought that it would be like not a big deal. So again, and I've gotten this before where it's like somebody here is like a spirit guide in training, or actually a spirit guide, but like still an incarnating spirit guide. Somebody here is like that. And that's a big lesson that they've learned in terms of their craft, in terms of their trade, of like, this is not an even trade. And in that way, I think this soul group that's like, and this person that is like less mature than them on a spiritual level has actually been their teacher, because they learned lessons in dealing with this kind of energy that, because they're showing me kind of like a child wants to please its parent. So they kind of mimic things, and when they're a child and that's all they can really do, it's not coming from inside of them. It's just, okay, this is how I get love. This is how, like, you showed me how to kind of do this, and I'm going to replicate this to get the results that I want in the world. But that can be very superficial learning. It has to come from within. So I think this person's realizing, like, you have to go off and be on your own. I can't keep putting up with this. Like, there's something here like that, but it's very go in peace. And then the other person's just like crying. I used to work at a daycare in a toddler room. So you can imagine when like parents drop their kids off, especially for like the first time that they've ever been away from home. That's what it feels like. It feels like the big fit until they start to learn that they're safe there. And then they look forward to seeing their friends every day and stuff like that. It looks like that. It looks like the big fit. But the parent knows that, like, well, I have to go to work so that I can, keep a roof over your head. That's, if I think you're sad now, like, how sad are you going to be when you don't have a roof over your head because I can't provide for you? Like, this needs to happen. Again, it's for the highest good. So it's like two different perspectives here. And somebody here is trying to kind of mimic what they think this person is looking for, what they want, or what they see this person as like embodying, but this person embodies it from the inside out, And so that's why it's like the conversations are not happening on the same level. The resonance is not happening on the same level. And somebody here is very much like, please don't go. Please don't go. So there's a lot that's going on here that's kind of beyond space-time is what I'm getting. Beyond space-time. And it's recognizing the truth here of the situation is that there has been a distortion, and that I'm hearing, I'm hearing when the student is ready, the teacher appears, but it's like, this is a student who thinks that they're ready. And I think that they had to experience a teacher to learn that they don't know. It's like the old saying, like, a dog that barks and chases after a car, what would you do if you caught it? It's like, well, what would you do if you caught it? Like, there's something here. And again, it doesn't have to be like, oh, a spiritual teacher. It could be the perfect partner. This is like the perfect partner for you, and you recognize it. But what would you do if you caught it? You don't know what to do because you haven't done the work within yourself to make sure that you have healthy relationship skills to where you're not tanking it, or where you're not just begging somebody to put up with your nonsense. Like, that's kind of what it feels like. Is no, I have to make a change. And now I'm hearing that song, Michael Jackson, I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. Gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right. So it's like, you're gonna make it right here. But the way that you make it right is by making yourself right. Like, I think this is like a diseased Western perspective too. It's like, we think forgiveness is like, I say I'm sorry to you, and then you say it's okay, and then we hold hands and ride up into the sunset. Forgiveness on a spiritual level is changing the part of you that hurt someone else. Like, if you feel like that's something that you would like to do, and you really are genuinely remorseful, and you also recognize that this is not the best trait for you, that's how you start making amends. The change happens within yourself first, but you need to go away. You need to go into the cave. And that's the other thing. I was seeing the cave card in this energy, and this is a blessing. This is actually a blessing from spirit. And for some of you, I don't even want to say that actually, because it's like, this is how you reconcile with this person, but it may be like on a spiritual level, because this person, somebody here may be ascending, to be honest. Like, they may not stick around the earth plane because they've just learned all that there is that they can learn here in this particular school. There's so many other places you can go from, like my studies, like from what I've seen. Nobody knows for sure, right? But that's just, it's like this person's learned all they can learn here, and it's like, thank you very much. Like, I'm on my way. So for some of you, it's like, yeah, there's going to be a reunion, but it's like on the other side, where everything's going to like kind of click and make more sense. But yeah, it's like, this is the cave. This is actually introducing you to the cave, because remember what I was saying? It's like, and that the cave card here in this deck, it's like, if you're lucky, it starts off by saying something like, if you're lucky enough to find the cave, for those who find it. And I feel like this person has introduced you to a cave. So somebody here's like exiting, and then somebody else just found their way in. And for some of you, it's like, you want to be a match to this person, or you want to be like this person. You have to go into the cave. You have to go into yourself. That's how you do it. There's no more option for you to act like you're really in the cave, or that you've been in the cave, to try to talk the cave language, like, oh, the cave, right? You have to go. You have to go in there now. There's no more rope. This is the end of the road. You've got to get in there. Get in there. Go. Yeah, it's like, yeah. It's like, I want to make a promise. It's like the vow. It's like, I want to make a promise. And it's like, you're not capable of following through on the promises. And I see that very clearly now. No matter how much I love you, no matter how much I like being around you, no matter how much you make me smile when I think about you, or when we're face to face, no matter all of that, at the end, you're going to break my heart, because you don't have the skill set to keep this up and to make this sustainable for the long term. It doesn't matter how I feel about you, because that's not what's navigating the ship. How I feel about you has kept me stuck and bound. I need to understand why I don't care enough about myself to make sure I have a safe home, in my own energy, that I'm only tolerating people being around who are not putting the veneer up, who are not, trying to get what they want out of me. And what this person wants out of you is they want a partnership. They want you in their home. They want you next to them. That's what they think is going to make everything kind of calm the fuck down inside of them. And it might for the time being. But they didn't learn anything. So all of it's just going to flare back up again. Somebody has to see the cycle for what it is. Somebody has to break it. And somebody here has done that. That's what I feel. Somebody here has seen through all the distortions and all of the gaslighting and all of the, I hear you trying to take care of yourself, but let me try to override your own internal compass. Who does that? Somebody who is wrong. Somebody who doesn't care about another person. Is somebody who is selfish, no matter how polished they come off, no matter how much they're trying to mimic it. This person is very, very selfish. And I think that they have been put in contact here with somebody who, like I said, they're living from a healthy ego space. They're living that and they take themselves seriously, and they're very confident in what they're feeling and what they know, but they hold that very lightly. So it's like kind of looking at the mirror of like, you think this is how you're supposed to be, but this is what it actually looks like. There's something here going on like that. So let me get some messages coming through. There's definitely a higher hidden truth here. And spirit could have stepped in. If this person, somebody here could have leveled up and put some kind of boundary in place. If that didn't happen, I feel like spirit could have potentially done that, because there is the mark of spirit here on this connection and on whatever happened here. And potentially this situation that is this feminine energy, like, please let me go. And this masculine energy, which is the active principle, right? It's like, please don't go. I'm sorry. I want to, like, I'm sorry. Like this person, but they have to unravel. I mean, this person, I'm just keep seeing this person. I'm sorry. Like, yes, this is like a coming to Jesus moment. It's a reckoning. That's what I'm hearing. And I'm seeing this person fall to their knees. And like, it's almost like somebody's getting the shakes. There could be like an alcohol thing. Like, I'm just seeing somebody's like purging and they're sweating and they're retching like over the thing. But it's like, it's the rescuer has to stop rescuing this person. It's not that they're even being left alone, because I'm almost seeing this person like it's almost like the level of help that they need it's not you. It's a temporary fix. It's and it's like no, like this person, I'm seeing them kind of like in a clinician setting where there's like 10 or 12 people around them. You're doing the work of 10 or 12 people. But this person is supposed to be a match to you so that you can one-on-one. Not you doing the work of 12 people. And this person, that's like actually what's going on. It's like you are actually capable of doing the work of like 12 people. But this person's like, oh, I found my match, my one-to-one match. And it's like, you're 12 people and they're one person. And they're like, my Libran match, do. And you're like, because it's taking way, way, way too much. And ultimately, it's not giving this person their freedom or their liberation, but they need to retch. They need to go through this reckoning. They need to grapple with themselves. They need to cry out. I'm picturing somebody who's crying on the bathroom floor. They need that. That's actually what healing looks like. And they don't understand. It's like my cat, like going to the vet. She doesn't understand it, but she has to go sometimes. Look, I know I was a distraction from your pain. That's like this higher vibrational being. I know I was a distraction from your pain. And somebody else here is like, I know I caused you pain because I wanted your attention and I was acting out like a little child, or I didn't know how to keep you around in a sustainable way. So I lashed out. And then what's worse is that I couldn't see, I lacked empathy. I was speaking in emotional language, or like I was feeling bad for myself. I'm hearing I was feeling sorry for myself. I thought I was feeling sorry for you, but I was really feeling sorry for myself. That I was such, like, this is also a person who has like self-loathing. It's like, I'm such a piece of shit. I'm so this, I'm so that. But it's because they try to band-aid the situation outside of themselves. And if they can get somebody back, in their energy, then it's like, that's when they think that they've actually like done the thing, but they can never sustain it. But because the path, it's the cave, they have to go within. And it's just, I'm hearing no more. Like, this is the end of the road. So spirit brought them into contact with you, I think, or like with this person who, for them to be, and this is, again, this higher vibrational being, they're higher vibrational for a reason, okay? This is somebody who can do the hard thing. They can take the hard look at themselves. They can take ownership and accountability for themselves. I think this higher vibrational being may not have had anybody even that they could lean on or rely on without, I'm just picturing the floor bottoming out. So they don't expect other people to cave, or they don't expect, and when they do, it's like they just end up getting betrayed again. So I'm hearing there's no quarter, there's no comfort here for this like higher vibrational being, because they are also, it's like somebody who's in college and somebody who's like in kindergarten, it's like they're not being held to the same standards, spiritually speaking, but it is much harder for the person who's like spiritually higher ranking or like higher vibing. It's much harder. Like they're kind of shocked, like, why do you think that you're entitled to these things? Like, it's never been entitled. I've always just had to do what's right, like for me or something. So yeah, I don't know. It's like spirit has maneuvered these two because both of them learning their lessons means that each one of them kind of has to do exactly what I've described here. I replay our conversations over and over, but again, this is good. I think this is like that, this person who doesn't understand, who's begging you not to go, this is part of their reckoning, and it's part of, and when they're replaying the conversations, they do fixate on you a bit, but it's like, they need to think about what they did wrong and what they should have done differently, but also like how much of it was just such a disgrace to you is what I'm hearing. Like this person thinks that they have empathy because they're feeling emotions, but they only feel emotions for themselves, really. Like, it's only when they feel slighted or when they feel like they didn't get what they wanted out of the situation, they feel bad, and then they think that that's them feeling bad for you, but they're really only feeling bad for themselves. Can't stop thinking about you. Good. I lost myself for a little while. Good. Like, all of this is like, I'm just picturing this is like stepping in the right direction. Good. Yeah. This person needs, but they don't need to be talking to you. This person, I actually don't think, this person should, I don't know. I mean, they need to do what they need to do, but it's like they need to spend time alone. They need to be journaling. They need to be having these conversations with themselves. I just don't think that speaking it out into the world, like even to like a therapist or something. I mean, therapy is important and they're like literally medical professionals. Don't let me tell you to like not go to a therapist, but I just feel like this person needs to be internalized. Go into the cave. Like that's like really what I'm getting. We need to let each other go. Yep. And I think this person's going to come to that understanding that they were using you more than they were loving you. They were relying on you like a crutch more than they were caring about you. They just cared that their crutch got up and walked away. Like, it's slow. It's, I bury myself and work to forget you. I love you. This is like, yeah, I love you. I want to feel that way again. I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. Yeah. This feels very much like it's coming from the higher vibrational being here as well, but it's like, I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. Like you both have to get to the place where you know that like, you don't get to control spirit. You don't get to decide how your lessons unfold. Spirit knows you better than anybody. Spirit knows you intimately well and has maneuvered you into this place because it knows how both of you work. And so it might be hard to deal with. You might not understand. This is also in the channel message that I just released. Somebody wrote under there, they were like, so what do I do? Like, what's the light? Like, I mean, I was like, what? Like, what's the light? Like, how do you not hear this? Like, there's somebody here where they just want to have the conversation with you. That's not an option. So what do? You have to, it's acceptance, especially as Westerners. Like when the answer is acceptance, we act like somebody didn't tell us what to do. We act like we don't know, when in fact, you're just confusing yourself because you don't want to accept it. And acceptance, to me, it's the last final step in the grieving process. And my husband and I were talking about grieving the other day, and he was saying something like, I think that if we're really honest with ourselves, we're always in a state of grief, like about something, We're just always kind of like there, even if it's in the background. It's just such an integrated part of life. And after reading tarot, like I believe that to like a certain extent. So it's like, you just have to accept that like, there is nothing to be done. You are who you are. This is what it is. And to engage further in this space only brings more heartache. It lacks wisdom to continue to engage here. There's still a lot of emotion. There's still a lot of love. That's a hard thing. That's what being an adult is. It's kind of accepting the hard thing and doing the responsible thing, even though it's not the thing you want to do. Somebody here doesn't want that. That's something that they had to learn. And the other person here, they need to accept that the answer's not outside of themselves. The answer's inside of themselves. It always has been. Now I'm seeing Dorothy, like if it was any further than my own backyard, I never really lost it to begin with, right? So there's a lot going on here. I don't react when people mention you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The timing just wasn't right. I'm not getting that so much. Although, like, this Kairos card here, it does deal with timing, but it's like, yeah, this, like, part of this card is that it's like there's the earthly time that we're all aware of, but there's a timeline that goes beyond, like, the earthly realm. It's the spiritual realm. So, again, there's spirit's timing here. But it's like, according to the earthly timeline, it's like, yeah, well, it just wasn't the right time for us. Because if you were fully developed and I was fully developed, we would come together, we would be in perfect union, and this would be such a happy, joyful connection. And maybe that is even true. It's like, yeah, but that's also not what we're doing here. So it's like, I don't know. There's a misunderstanding of like the earthly timeline and the spirit's timeline, and spirit's going, everything happened in divine timing. Go to your cave. Spirit's like, go to your cave, And again, that's like a punishment in a lot of Western societies is like time out or going to your room. But it's actually done us a disservice because taking a time out is not a punishment. Like it's kind of what you need. Like even if you're a kid and you're acting out and you're like, I don't know what you're doing. You're fighting with your friend over a toy. It's like not a bad idea to take a time out, but like why use a timeout as like a punishment? So maybe this person who was like having to go to the cave, they got put in timeout a lot and they're thinking that they're being punished when really they're just being shown the way. So again, but they don't understand that it's their own perspective, their own perception. Perhaps my perception needs to adjust. I'm seeing somebody like adjusting this here. Spirit's like, stop trying to, this person has a control issue too. It's like they try to control everybody else. It's like they try to convince other people that they're wrong and that they should see it from their perspective and that so they should just let them back into their life, or they should just, again, it's very selfish. It's actually really egotistical. That's another thing. So there's a misunderstanding of certain words here, and spirit is trying to, or concepts, because words link to concepts. There's a misunderstanding of basic concepts that we use, especially in the spiritual space. Talk about these certain things. So this person has an incorrect definition of a lot of these words and concepts that they remember I said the human mind creates constructs and then we operate from those constructs instead of actually operating in the real world. And that's a calorie saving function that our brains do, but you have to be willing to challenge it. So this person gets feedback all the time that they need to adjust their perception, that maybe they don't have the right perspective of this person. Maybe they don't have the right definition of these concepts that they just kind of assume and they take for granted. But it takes a lot. I'm also hearing Rumi in my mind where he says the highest form of learning is unlearning. So it's like this person needs to dig up whatever it is that they thought that they knew because they got the wrong thing. They have to, it's a deconstruction process. That's what needs to go through. Remember I was just saying Brandolini's law? This person wants other people to do it for them. This is also a person who may be very used to going to practitioners. Like even, like always going to the chiropractor instead, to get readjusted, instead of learning like, how am I holding my body in a weird way? What needs to be strengthened so I don't have to like keep coming here? You know what I'm saying? It's like this person has this perspective of like, I'm going to go to a practitioner and they're going to constantly put me in realignment. And that's me being on my spiritual path, which might have been fine when this person was at their beginning part of their path, but now they're being asked to do it themselves. You need to learn how to do it yourself and to be self-reliant in a spiritual capacity. But in order for this person to do it, they have to dig up these concepts that they think that they know. Even things like making amends and taking a time out. And, it's like this person, they don't understand that it's their own perception. So this person may be very persuasive. They might be very skilled with language, but for all the wrong reasons. It is their ego defense mechanism, and it is the way that they bring people on side. It's also a way that they gaslight people, but they're not trying to gaslight people. They're just trying to be right. They want to be right more than they care about understanding what the truth actually is. So it's like that. And that's what I was kind of getting at is that I think ego is a word that we misunderstand as spiritual people, because whenever we think of somebody who's egotistical, I think we picture somebody who's like red in the face and really disagreeable and hard to get along with. And where there's ego, there's always a certain amount of immovability and like stubbornness, but it just depends on how your ego is oriented, what things that your personality gravitates to. You can be just as obstinate and difficult to be in relationship with, and you can have a very pleasant countenance as well. And I'm not saying that to make you paranoid and question every single person that's like around you. That's not a healthy way of using that tool, that information that I just gave you. That's not right either. But I'm telling you, this person doesn't understand. When I tell them that they're egotistical, they picture that red-faced bully and they're like, I'm not that. And it's like, nobody said that, but I have to be able to say the word that actually means what I'm trying to get at to you. Because ego, that word ego, it has a definition. And you have the wrong definition of it in your mind. And you're not taking responsibility for changing the way that you relate to that word. So instead, this is also reminding me, somebody sent me a message, this was like a long time ago. They had chosen the wrong pile for themselves and they were mad at me and they were like, you made me feel this way and this way and this way. And then they sent me another message and they really just should have said, I'm sorry I chose the wrong pile. And they said that at first, but then they still were blaming me. They were like, but you should have made it easier for me to understand that this wasn't my pile. And I'm like, I don't know you. I don't even know your situation. I'm just getting the message as it's coming through. Like, you picked the wrong pile. I'm hearing you wish that you would have realized that sooner. I think you're embarrassed for the way that you just kind of exploded all over me. And instead of just saying sorry, you're still trying to figure out a way to blame. Like, it's still my fault somehow that like you're screaming at me. Like, this is why I like no longer have a contact option on my page, because people abuse that and they abuse me and it's not fair. Like, they actually did get to their pile. They were like, it was actually helpful. And I realized that the pile that I thought was me was actually this person and this person. And yeah, like they did do those things. It's like, okay, then like, why are you yelling at me? And you still didn't even apologize. Like, this person, it's like, you need to adjust your perspective. That's all that's going on here. And, sometimes it's like, I acted out of pocket. I'm sorry. Like, there's something going on, but instead I don't know. I don't know you. Like, I couldn't pick you out of a lineup. I wasn't attacking you. I don't know, like, your personal situation. And I have to realize too, like, sometimes I'm like, I think this is actually a compliment in disguise, because I think I've been so on the money for this person so often that when I wasn't on the money, they felt personally slighted, or they felt like I must have been doing it on purpose, Yeah, some messages, like, it can't all be on my responsibility. Like, I don't know. I'm just getting these energetic impressions. I think sometimes people forget that. It's like, I'm just trying to navigate an energetic impression that I'm getting. I'm not seeing like your Aunt Margaret, and all the baggage that like comes up there. And like part of the, I don't know, maybe this is a part of the message too, but it's like part of it is like this is kind of like me having to test my own courage. And because I'm not a courageous person, I've mentioned that several times. Like I am a coward. Like I'm a straight up coward. Less so now than I've ever been. But it's like when I'm getting down here in like the muck and the mire, there's like history, there's baggage, there's like emotional stuff. So I know that I'm jumping down in here with Hecate or Hecate. I think it's Hecate, right? It's Hecate. But I like you go down into like somebody's darkest space. Well, it takes a lot of courage because you're going to hit the wrong thing and you're going to get all of that emotion that should have been reserved for Aunt Margaret, frankly, who's been at it for years. But like, I'm a safe person and I get it. And I'm in front of you and I hit the button. And so, and I can't do that 28,000 people over. It's a different level here. It's not Libran, and I need a little bit more grace because I'm doing this for so many people. Imagine if everybody reacted that way towards me. And a lot of high vibrational people are drawn to my channel, thank God. But like, anyways, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting here. There's something much bigger going on here. There's a truth that pervades timelines, and there's a recognition of a hook here of like, yes, there's a lot of love. There's a pleasantness. There's but it's like, it's not heavyweight enough. It's not loving enough. Somebody here needs to face themselves, and they use these relationships that they feel, and they're not making their own adjustments. It becomes too much of a crutch. So yeah, I feel like there could have been a vow here. And for some, it's like a bodhisattva vow that like with this higher vibrational person. Yeah. Okay. So for this higher vibrational person, I feel like it could be something like a bodhisattva vow of like, I vow to help people. Okay. But it's like, you have to learn what helping people actually is. And sometimes you need to let somebody writhe on the bathroom floor a little bit. You know, and I'm hearing in Eat, Pray, Love, where Elizabeth Gilbert, when she got up in the middle of the night and she was having her freak out on the bathroom floor, and she was like, God, just tell me what to do. And then the voice said, get off the floor, Liz. You know, it's so simple. Just get off the floor. Just step one, go back to bed. Oh no, that's what it said. Go back to bed, Liz. You know, simple kind of stuff. And that's actually for this bodhisattva individual. It's like, some help doesn't always look hands-on. Sometimes help looks like walking away and letting somebody deal with life, because life at the end of the day with a capital L is the teacher here. However life presents itself, there's some kind of a teaching that's going on here. You can respect your teacher, you can respect that, and then you'll kind of always be on the lookout for it, or everything's going to continue to be confusing for you. So that's really what I'm getting here for pile number 1. Yes. Leah just said, I want to read this out loud. She said, I love that for you. I'm coming in on this conversation like at the tail end, but she says, I'm the opposite, I think. Is it possible to be too intuitive? I think I would benefit from making more assumptions. I'm not sure what I'm trying to explain yet. I think it is possible to be too intuitive. Well, actually, I don't know if I think it's possible to be too intuitive so much as I think that not recognizing that you're intuitive and that you're very open to other people's energies, like, affects you greatly. Like, sometimes you pick up on other people's energy. Is that what...
I was going to say, it's almost like being overwhelmed by how intuitive.
Yeah. And also, like, you don't understand what's coming from you and what's not coming from you, and why, you know, all of a sudden you have this kind of, like, feeling towards somebody, especially when your guard's down, you're tired, or you're drinking, or something like that. Because then you don't know, like, you have to be able to keep your own perimeter, and I think that can be, like, a really difficult way to navigate the world. Yeah, and I've met people that are like crazy intuitive to the point where it is actually really hard for them to navigate life. Like we have this friend, Kathy, and like she would literally, I've seen her go into a cafe, and this was like, you know, at a spiritual community, so everybody kind of like is on the level when it comes to that, but pick up on somebody's anxiety and have to kind of do some energy work to move it just so she can exist in the space, you know, but kind of do it lightly, you know, like I saw her like talk to a person, she was like, hey, I'm feeling really anxious, like, would you mind helping me move it? But really it was like that person was anxious and she was picking up on it, and you could feel that she was kind of, and even like in her talking to me, it's like, I know that I could feel a slight change in my like demeanor or something. Like I could feel her try to, you know, keep herself, and I'm like, oh God, like I'm just trying to have my human experience, and like I'm like, oh God, like, and so I just sort of like avoided her for a long time because I just didn't want to hurt her with my humanness. Yeah. Yes, you can really question yourself. So true. You know, and that's why like Pisces, right? It's the eldest sign, and it's a loss of self is what it really is. Now there's a spiritual capacity to that, loss of self, loss of ego, right? That's like merging with spirit. But there's also like dissociating. That's another way, like, because Pisces rules over like isolated spaces, right? So that like strong intuitive energy, isolated spaces, hospitals, prisons, caves, like out in the middle of nowhere, because again, like you don't want to lose yourself. But also the lower thing of that can be like drugs, losing yourself, like in that way, kind of shutting like your mind off. So like that experience can be one that's like very, very difficult to deal with. And it's not always high vibrational when you see it in the world. Again, somebody who's like very dissociative, that's not a high vibrational experience. It's like, you have to know what the self is in order to lose it, like, even cults like can be kind of a way of losing yourself, because it's like they're telling you what to think, they're telling you what your spirituality is, they're telling you all those things, and it's like you're not checking in with self. You have to have a self in order to transcend the self, but so many people want to like dodge around the process of having self, identifying self, working with self in order to transcend self, which is why there's like the 4 different aims of life. So many of them, moksha is the final step, like liberation, and it's freedom from ignorance, and that ignorance is the attachment to the world. Anyways, like we don't need to get like onto that, but anyways, like I was saying, like this pile, we need to move on to pile number 2, because there's so much spiritual access like in the first pile, because there's so much like spirituality that's going on in that pile that it's like keeps pulling my like focus and my attention. Something here is just teaching through this like so strongly, and I think it might feel very desolate at times. I just want to say this as like a final little comfort. It might feel very desolate at times, but like I'm hearing, you're not alone. That's another Michael Jackson song. You are not alone, I am here with you. Yeah, though you're far away, I am here to stay. You are not alone. Like even, and I'm also hearing that Jesus quote that's like, even in your darkest times, it was then that I carried you. When you looked back and you saw only one set of footprints and you thought that you were alone, it was then that I carried you. You've never been left alone. But sometimes people need to be alone, because this is a person, remember, that is like addicted to the external world. They're addicted to having conversations with other people. They only know who they are because of other people, the people that they're associated with in relationship, the people who will tolerate them in conversation, the people who agree with them. That's reinforcing their own identity. So this person needs to get away from all of that and still realize that they're not alone. They need to find spirit in the darkness of the cave. All right. So that was pile number 1. So true. So true. Okay, moving on to pile number 2. Because again, like I feel like we could sit for like 4 hours and I would just keep channeling that energy. Yeah. He sings it with Lisa Marie. It's a lovely song. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Man, it's so weird coming off of that and like moving here into pile number 2. Okay, new energy, new energy, new energy. Okay, so this person, this may be an older person. Okay, so there's kind of a gruffness coming across, like, and I think that maybe with this person, you would recognize that as a part of their identity. Like, this is a very salt of the earth kind of an individual, or they're very practical and pragmatic, or again, they're very material, like they deal very strongly here in the material. And this person does have a certain kind of earthy wisdom that has like come up with them, like maybe this person has been, I just heard they're long in the tooth. So this person has maybe like been through a lot. They have a lot of earthy wisdom. This is coming across very masculine. This is coming across very back porch wisdom. Somebody who says something, maybe they use kind of like old timey sayings, or like, I don't know, like things like, their cornbread isn't all the way done in the middle. And like they say, they have this like short way of saying a whole lot, that's like very clearly something's like a saying like that because it's been like passed down. But then like as you grow into yourself and as you grow into your life, you kind of realize the truth of it, or you realize what somebody was trying to say when they used that like weird phrase, killing 2 birds with that. There's that energy that's really, really coming through here. Thank you so much for the super chat, Catherine. From love. Thank you. And I don't know why, but I just pictured the orange of like the super chat, which is connecting to like that second chakra. So there could be something here actually like, yeah, and security in the world. This person may have had like a lot of struggles with security in the world, like financially. And there's something with the rooted energy, like with the earth energy. And so it's very much formed who they are. And I'm also hearing reaction formation. So this person may have like lied in the past or something, because reaction formation is one of those defense mechanisms that's really confusing whenever you see it. And I really want to use a strong example from the world, what's going on now, but I get scared of talking about these current events because I don't want YouTube to censor me. But okay, so it's a person like, I hope you're going to pick up what I'm going to put down, okay? There's a human being, okay? And they're in the music world, the rap side of things. And it's like, did he do it? Did he not? Did he want to? Did he not? Okay, because I keep saying that person's name, but I'm saying it in a way that hopefully YouTube is not going to catch on to it. There's that person, right? That has been associated with a lot of like dastardly deeds, but then always is like crying at like the funeral or something. Okay, I'm going to move away from that energy. Spirit's like, just move away from that energy, okay? But so they potentially did something wrong, but they're like showing a lot of sadness or remorse, you know, grieving. This person's not that bad, okay? Like, this person's like, why would you use that example? This person's kind of funny. They're very matter of fact. This is kind of like a simple soul. Okay, so I don't know why I did use that example. I was just trying to give you an example of reaction formation, and then like I way overdid it. So that's also telling me that like maybe you think this person's like way worse than they actually are, or that their intentions are way worse than they actually are, or they've given you that impression. And this person kind of didn't realize that they were doing that because they are like a very simple soul. They are a very like salt of the earth kind of soul. And so this person does have a certain amount of reaction formation, which is again, just like they, okay, they're telling me to move away from the reaction formation. Okay. I don't know why, but I still am getting in that energy. I don't know. There's something this person doesn't like about that. I just heard stop psychoanalyzing me. They're like, talk to me human, talk to me normal. Like, I don't like these words. I don't like these things. It's like, I don't like that you know more about what's going on with me than I know about what's going on with myself. Like, I'm confused and I'm feeling obstinate and I have a certain amount of wisdom too. And this person is like very protective, but it's just in a different way than you. This person doesn't like that. Like, I think this person doesn't like that we're talking about them as if like they're not in the room. I'm sorry. This is cracking me up. Like, it's not like this person's on the level with us. Okay. Like, this person is like a student of life. They're like exploring certain things. Okay. But it's like, they don't do it from this like very feminine, very like, let's figure out the words of it. Like, let's look in psychology and let's look in spirituality. This person kind of like, maybe they deal a lot with their hands, or, they're like, if it's not in front of me, it doesn't make sense to me. Or like, if I can't, like, you know, this person's simple in a way that's not, I don't mean stupid, like not at all, but they're just simple. You know, it's like, I'm picturing somebody like holding something in their hands and kind of banging it against something. And like, if I can take it apart, that's what matters to me. That's how I learn. That's how I engage with the world. All this airy fairy stuff. Like this person's not putting it down. Okay. They're not putting it down. But they're like, it's not my cup of tea. It's not my preference. And I could talk to you about these things, but we don't use the same language. We come at this from such different ways, but we say the same thing. We're trying to say the same thing to each other. I understand what you're getting at. And I'm not a bad person, and I'm not obtuse, and I'm not dense, but I don't, yeah, it's like, I want to be left alone. I don't want to feel like, picked apart. Like, that's kind of what I'm getting. And this person, they're proud, but they have every right to be. I really kind of like this person's energy, to be honest. They're really no nonsense. And I think this person really has been through a lot in their life, and they're comfortable navigating in that spaces. And this person just has like a very realistic perspective of like, yeah, some people are not like out for your highest and greatest good. You really have to like keep an eye out. Also, I kind of get a sense that this person works with like a group of people, not necessarily works with, but like, you know, crows, they have like, you know, a murder of crows. So it's like that's where they hang out, like their group, and it's like very protective. They have a whole system, and crows are actually really, really smart. And like they have like their own kind of language. So this person, again, it's like, but it's all very pragmatic. Like this is just a very pragmatic individual. So let me just figure out like, what are this person's hidden feelings towards you? I think I just described them. It's like, this person has a lot of love for you. Okay. And this person feels like they want to show that to you in very upfront ways. It's like, I'm sorry I'm not flowery. I'm sorry that I don't know the lingo or like the terms or like the whatever. Like, I'm sorry that I know. And I will never be that way because I'm just not that way. I hope that you can love and respect and accept me like in my own way. Like, I think that you're a little bit more sophisticated, and they're kind of giving me the image of Mercury, which is, again, like knowing a lot of things, kind of piecing things together with the psychology and the spirituality, but also it's like learning different languages. And I'm hearing, can you get to learn mine? You know, because there's a miscommunication here, and this person feels like maybe like you're making them the big bad, but this person is not malintended like at all. They're just really salt to the earth. I kind of feel like, Brody, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like this person is like, they're wise, okay? Because like this is crone energy, and I think this person does like to be alone. This is very much a person who's like hermit. Like they would do very well, like in the woods, in the woods. And maybe this person's been in the woods metaphorically like a lot, but they just like, I don't know if you can see this crow, but this is like cracking me up because this crow is just like, There's a meme that I'm picturing too where it's like, I don't know, like, yeah. So, and I also am hearing like, can you include me and not talk about me? Like that kind of a thing, like, or not talk around me. Cause this person's like, I'm not stupid. I can understand. I just don't want to talk about it the same way that you want to talk about it. So I'm going to pull some more cards here just to see like what this person's hidden feelings for you. I'm very wordy and I can see his eyes glazing over. LOL. Welcome. I just signed up for German classes today. Nice. That makes sense. I live in the middle of nowhere where cornfields and mountains. This person would do very well surrounded by cornfields and mountains. I keep imagining someone who doesn't talk much but will randomly give you something you mentioned you needed, like a token of affection. Yeah, they might not be, but it's very, this person's mind is very organized. So organized that they can just, again, they kind of say these little snippets of things, but it says so much. So yeah, this person is a person of few words. And you might be a person of a lot of words, like you're saying. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Okay, hold on. Yeah, the Queen of Wands. So there's a lot of romance, a lot of attraction here. This person, yeah, they feel very like romantically, but I think this person gets in their head potentially because of the talking, because of the messages. And I think this person, they see you like very strong and like very capable and like very like in your power and stuff, but this person doesn't know what to say. And also this person might be worried that because this person's like very, like I said, they're very matter of fact. And this person, I think they would just say something like, can I take you out or something like that, you know, but they don't know how that's going to like affect the situation or even how it could affect like, you know, your mood. This person doesn't understand you. They think that they see such a similarity. You say the same things, you have the same values, but you just have very different approaches and personalities. But again, I think this is something that kind of keeps the spark alive between the two of you because you're both like forever interesting. I think this person finds you to be very interesting. They do like listening to the things that you say. I think you both have this effect on each other where it's like you'll just say something that to the other person is like, whoa, I didn't really think of it like that. And both of you are the type of person to like hear that, see that, integrate that, and move on. There's been some healing that's happened. There also could have been some wounding. So it could have, but it could have been because of like a misunderstanding or a confusion here in the past. Because like you could have had an experience with this person where they did say something in their way. It was just very matter of fact, or it was just very gruff, or it was just very something, and it hurt you, and they didn't mean to hurt you, or they didn't know how you were going to take it or something. But this person learned very quickly, and then they kind of like pulled back, and they see that maybe you have healed, and yeah, like they really see that. And so it makes this person feel like, I just heard less of a man. Like it makes this person feel like some type of way that you are so independent and you're so self-contained. You are kind of a mystery. I mean, for all the talking you do, you're such a mystery to me still. I still don't know how you work. And this is a person who figures out how things work. Okay. But it's like static things. Human beings, living things, living systems, the living word, much different. This person kind of likes something that's contained and doesn't move, and they can like, you know, undo it and then put it back together. So you don't make sense to this person, and it's a gift and it's a blessing. And this person is they're not really intimidated by it. It's just more of like, you have these feelings and reactions and stuff. And that's something that this person's not used to having to deal with when they work on their car, you know, when they work on their machine. It's like, yeah, I mean, I might like mess something up. It might completely fall apart, but I'm not going to like break it emotionally. Like this person is very positively intended, and they might have broken you emotionally, but again, this person's very physical. And so I just think, and I think they're also very simple in the sense, like if I have my coffee and my sandwich for lunch, like I'm honestly pretty emotionally happy like for the rest of the day. You can call me an asshole to my face and I'll probably still be pretty emotionally happy. This person's like fun and honestly like kind of a rock. Like they really are like a rock. And I think that actually, if you understand these certain things about each other, this is probably a comfort, like having this person around you and having that just like it is what it is kind of energy around you. And they're not precious. Like this person is just not precious. In my mind, I kind of was like, they can take a lot of like ABUSE. I don't mean that in like relationally. I mean when you talk about a thing, like, oh yeah, that can, you know, that can really be, you get what I'm trying to say. It's like it can be through a lot. It can get really dinged up and it still works and stuff. But this person like doesn't tolerate that in a relationship. ABUSE. They don't tolerate it at all. They don't tolerate disrespect. When somebody's like malintended, like they really just don't like it. They don't tolerate it at all. But if like a bunch of mistakes and stuff, like this person chalks a lot up to mistakes. And I think this person has like, I don't know, I'm just hearing like, I really put my foot in it sometimes, but it's like different than pile number one. Yeah, and they see you. I think this person watches you. Like they see you in a really positive light. They see you very like there's so many different sides to you. I'm just getting like this person is fascinated by you. That you're so like a diamond, like you're very shimmery, you're very multifaceted. And again, this person has this mind of like I just like to take things apart and put it back together. And I'm used to that taking me like no time at all. But then there's this other side to you. There's this other facet to you that I didn't like kind of and I'm interested and it pulls me in and I want to understand more. You know, it's like there's this puzzle. It's like the never-ending puzzle. So it's like not like you're just putting together one picture, but instead there's a lot of different ways that you can like put it together. And some of the shapes are like an astronaut or like whatever. It's like really, really cool. It's like, yeah, it's like the infinity puzzle or something like that. That's what you are. You're this infinity puzzle. There's a lot of different ways that this person can put you back together because you're so interesting, like you're multi-dimensional, and this person actually really does like that. Like this is actually, you might seem like you don't get along or that you don't connect together, but you actually really do. And this person does watch you. They could this is to me Sun and Virgo energy, so they could watch something Virgo related. So it could be like they see you on a routine, like whenever you come into their space or whatever, like they just kind of are always have their eyes on you or they're watching you. They're really attracted to you. Like they think that you're very physically attractive, or you could be the way that you like dress or something like that. Like you're interesting. Like there's something about you that's like interesting to watch. You're like a pop of color in an otherwise gray world, because a lot of things make sense to this person. Like that's what I mean by gray is like it's just boring, kind of boring. It's expected. You are unexpected. You surprise this person and they like it. They really like it. You could have walked away. There could be competition here. There was some kind of ending. There was some kind of change, and then there was a wish fulfillment. And you got some kind of freedom. This person wants to offer you something. They're really good with their hands. This person's like a maker kind of a person, you know. There's like salt of the earth really keeps coming to mind. So this person has a lot of love for you. I actually think this is like a very strong soulmate connection. I actually, weirdly enough, I think this is a match made in heaven, even though it's kind of like the odd duck pairing or something like that. It just seems, but you really, and this person is very content to listen to you talk. They just don't want to feel like nitpicked or like made wrong just because you don't understand them. Or just because I think this person thinks you're used to putting very complex puzzles together. The social, emotional, more feminine side of life kind of things. That's always, it's like creative and it's always expressing differently, you know, and this person's like, I'm just a simple creature. Okay. Like I'm just a simple creature. That's like really what I'm getting. Oh my gosh, he always sends me vegan recipes and books. Yeah, this is also another way. This person will really notice things about you. They really, and they also pick up on, again, I think this person might be a hobbyist. And so they pick up on your hobbies, and that might be a connection here as well. Like you both pursue your hobbies. But this person also feels, they feel like they're your soulmate, and that there's a lot of love between the two of you, and that potentially you've given up here on the situation. They feel left out in the cold, and they feel like they want your attention, but they don't know how to get it. Yeah, and this person's feeling stifled. They feel bored, and they feel like they want to take like an adventure. They also see you as somebody that they could take a risk with, have an adventure with, send you a message, and they want you to be like excited, and they want to be excited, and they might want to travel with you, and they might this person just takes a lot of joy in watching you. This person just kind of strikes me as somebody who, like, you know, maybe sits in their rocker and is like quietly content, you know. They're not bored, and they're not like, they're quietly content, and it really doesn't take this a lot to make this person content. Like, this is actually a really nice energy. Yeah. This person might be like religious or something. I don't know. It feels like this person tends towards like religiosity more than spirituality, because they like the routine, and they like the rituals, and they like that everything makes sense and that it's not changing, and they know what to expect. This is very much a person who likes a touchstone. They like to know what to expect. Okay. All right. Let me just, there's something here about values. I do think this person can feel very envious. Peace and freedom. Abundance, doubt. Okay, yeah, peace and freedom might be actually, I think this is the two of you. I think this person is actually peace. Like this person's energy is very peaceful. They look kind of like this. So they might look like gruff, or they might look, again, like salt of the earth or something, but their energy is this. Their energy is peace, and this person is very open-minded, and this person is like, they have a lot of freedom of thought. I'm a being of love, and I release all negative energy. I don't think this person holds on to hurt. I don't think they hold on to like grudges. Like emotionally, this person's kind of easy come, easy go, where I think, and this has to do with this is a protector. Okay, this is somebody who knows how to protect their own energy, and I just heard society takes them seriously and allows them to protect their own energy, which you may not have the benefit of the doubt when it comes to that. So like you, I think, are more used to the way that you protect yourself is by figuring out people's intentions. You've had to become very sophisticated because society doesn't give you the same grace. And this person may offer that to you. They bring some kind of grace. You are freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. You create, like, you're a creative energy. You create your own happiness. But look how, like, copacetic these two are. Like, and they're both, like, kind of elevated energies that are coming through here. I think he misses our original father-daughter relationship, but I'm not 5. I'm almost 30. A lot has happened. That is so, like, true. Again, this person is like, they don't want things to change. They want things to just be simple. It's like, no, father-daughter relationship. We already had one of those. Like, let's go back, you know? Okay, interesting. Will they reconnect is what somebody says. Like, this person wants to reconnect. Okay, like, they're figuring out how to. They don't know how you will respond. Look, empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of the situation, but they doubt if you are going to. There's a lot of doubt coming from this person's side as to, like, whether you have called it quits here. Like, there's a lot of, that's where, like, the fear comes in, because this person's, like, willing to and they want to, and again, they're just very matter of fact. It's like, this is very much a person who's like, I had a feeling and I'm just going to move towards you and act on that feeling. It's like not a thing for this person. It's like not a thing. Yeah. And this person is very protective of their aloneness. Like, I'm hearing some people in the chat. It's like, they're great. This person's great. They're wonderful. They're just afraid of commitment. Like, this person, again, their peace, and they're really afraid of, like, having that peace and that routine disturbed, because similar to how, like, you've had to kind of navigate your way through the world, this person has as well. And their way of doing that is just to kind of stand alone and stand on their own. And they don't want to be, like, beholden to, like, the emotional ups and downs of, like, somebody else. Not that you have that. That's what this person's just afraid of. So yeah, this is blame, and they don't want to feel blamed for things. Like, there's a self-esteem thing. But this person, I think, might be lonely. Like, yeah, I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. I accept. This person can accept responsibility for where they went wrong. They really can. Okay, so let's just see here. Like, this person is like, I'm not complicated. Don't make it complicated. I'm not complicated. Let's see. Anything else? I don't know. This person might feel like they made a mistake and that they do feel guilty, but it's like they made a mistake because they weren't trying to make a mistake. I don't know. They weren't trying to make a mistake. Let me just see what else. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, like, fishing for something else. I want to grab some of these, like, love message decks, but then something's, like, holding me back. Let me just see. Oh, Moon. Ashamed. This person, yeah, there's, like, some kind of shame. They're worried about, like, not having victory or success. And potentially this person sees you in this energy of, like, victory and success and moving forward. And they feel like they're from your past. They feel burdened. They feel like maybe what they have to offer you is something small. But this person offers you, I think, like, more than anybody else has offered you potentially. Like, it's real and it's genuine and it comes from the heart. And that's what I think. There's a real matching here of values. This person degrades, like, their own offers, their own worth, their own value, and they see you so highly. I mean, this person really does see you, and it burdens them to think that you might be happy, and to think, like, this person does see you as, like, their marriage partner, their perfect partner, and they might be scared that you're building that with somebody else, or that you would prefer to build that with somebody else, somebody who's more like this, somebody who's more flashy, somebody who's more successful. This person has a lot of fears and illusions that are, like, kind of creeping up in their mind when it comes to this. That's not based in reality. I think this person could have had they had a really negative relationship in the past with somebody who really did take them for granted. Nothing they ever did was enough for this person, and they're really afraid that that's been internalized. It's woven into the fabric of their being. I am not enough. I'm always wrong. I'm always doing something wrong. So that also might flare up when it's like you're saying things and you're very well intentioned, but you do kind of pick up on things, and this person kind of just, like, feels nitpicked or something. Yeah, there's, like, this person, they don't want argumentative energy, right? This person is peace, like, their energy is peace, and they got with a really argumentative person in the past, and it might have been a very sexual connection, or they could have, like, accidentally gotten someone, like, pregnant, or somebody accidentally got them pregnant, and all that person really wanted was like they're like a house, and like they wanted to be looked at a certain way, and this person was just used. And like I said, this person doesn't really tolerate that. They really don't. But they got involved with somebody who was like very argumentative, and they betrayed them in some way, and it was a very painful, like very messy ending. Or they could be afraid of a messy ending, or I just heard ashamed of a very messy ending. This person needed to kind of level up into their King of Swords energy. They needed to. That's part of their like soul path. So but now you've shown them this kind of like other way, you know? And it's the way of strength, and it's like more of an integrated strength. And this person wants to learn that. Okay, they see the truth in that. They sense the truth in that. They just can't really let their guard down right now. Yeah, this person can't let their guard down right now. But it's not coming from a place. This is really good energy. It's very positive energy. It's elevated energy. It's see how this is like a samurai master, and he's like, usually the 7 of Wands to me looks really chaotic. It just looks like you know, but like this person knows exactly like what they're doing. They do have an elevated perspective. They know that, and they want to protect their peace, and that's that's the 5 of so they don't want to get involved with people who are like this lower energy, who are just like argumentative, or who are just competitive. They're just afraid. This person's afraid. And they're the wounded warrior, and they're almost to the end of a cycle here. Yeah, temperance. This person, I'm telling you, this person got involved in something negative in the past. So I don't know how you know this person, okay? Because I know a lot of you are saying this is like a parental energy. But if this is somebody that there was like a love romantic interest, and like I feel like maybe you went after your freedom, and this person is very salt of the earth. They probably like set up some kind of a home base here. Well, the person that they got involved with is in this like devil energy. I'm not going to show you the devil card because I don't want YouTube to have a fit. But like it's the devil card here. And I think this person could have even been waiting for you to come back. Or they were waiting for you. It's like you were the person they were always waiting for. If you didn't know this person in the past, it's like they were always waiting for you. Potentially this person feels like they didn't take the higher cup when it was offered because of some kind of functioning dysfunction and a responsibility that this person felt. They took some kind of a poisoned apple from a Queen of Swords. There's also a group of people here. I picked up on this for those of you who are on Patreon. There's a group for the reading that's coming out tomorrow that this is reminding me of, but it's like this person, there's a group of friends here that the person that they got involved with is associated with. They could like do a lot of drinking, or it's like very frivolous. This person's not frivolous. So they kind of got trapped or like taken in by like their kind of polar opposite energy. And this person was like, I don't know, very very manipulative. And I'm hearing they love bombed them. That's what I'm getting. They love bombed them. And so this person, and it was very just effective. And this person thought that what they were seeing was simple in the sense that it was like playful and jovial and childlike, but it was actually very sophisticated and very complicated. This person played a bunch of mind games. And like I said, so it's the antithesis of this person's energy that they got involved with. Because this person's very salt of the earth. They're very simple. They're very matter of fact. It's I am who I say I'm going to be. Why don't you be the same way? Well, the person they got involved with was giving a very good facade, but then was actually just had them all twisted up, was lying, gaslighting them. Like, no. I kind of feel like this would be the more elevated person in pile number 1 for a lot of you. So they're healing, and they're keeping their distance. Like this person's like kind of very skittish. So that's why it's like every time I was reaching for the love messages, it was like, well, hold on. Like, because this person is wounded from the past, and they do need the time and space to heal from their own past as well. Because I kind of get the sense that this person would like not want to look at it. They just want to kind of keep moving forward. Like, well, that was what it was, and it was a mind fuck. So like they just don't want to deal with it anymore. But they have to kind of heal that. Otherwise, they're going to drag that in with you, and they kind of know that. So this person is like, they want to express themselves, but they're also very hurt from the past, and they don't know how to trust, because your energy is complex in the sense that it's nuanced. Like, you are very nuanced. This other person was complex in the sense that they were playing a bunch of mind games. They weren't actually nuanced. They used a bunch of language, like whoever this negative partner is, they used a bunch of negative. They used a bunch of language. They potentially used, again, a lot of this psychobabble jargon stuff. They used it as that in order to twist your person up like a pretzel, in order to confuse them and maneuver them and invalidate them, demasculate them, and make them feel powerless in their own situation. And this person got taken in by that because they're just so unassuming. Like, they really are just so unassuming. They didn't know a person could be, I just heard that rude. I just heard, like, see the way that I just used the word rude? It's like, I probably would have picked a more, like, they're strategic, they're manipulative, they're underhanded. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, they're rude. Like, that was just really rude thing to do. Like, you know? So, Like, I'm not laughing at this person. They don't even know. They got so, like, messed with. Like, they don't even know the word. Like, and that's something that you probably, again, I think you've come up against those people, but you understand them intimately. That's how you protect yourself. This person, so you're both protectors to each other is what I'm getting. You kind of protect this person on that, like, look, this is more complicated than you think. People aren't always what they seem. People can be very sophisticated as living systems. This person just did not at all. Like, I think they just got the rug pulled out from under them because they got kind of, it's a baptism by fire. They got initiated into like a whole other side of humanity that was very dark and very treacherous. This person had no idea that somebody could be so selfish and so like, they really didn't know that. They didn't know it was possible. They kind of heard that about people sometimes. They just always thought they'd be able to spot it. And this was like a devil that came dressed in like sheep's clothing. This devil acted like a victim is what I'm hearing, but they were really the perpetrator. So they just don't want to get themselves involved in a situation because now you know, I'm hearing, you know exactly what this is like. You've been through this as well, where it's like you had to learn that at some point you just cannot take people at their word. You know, you can't take people at their word. It's just kind of reminding me of, again, like when that person sent me that message, it was like 2 years ago now. That message, it's like, you know that I can't take you at your word. I've more than learned that what if you don't have the right perspective of yourself? Like, why are you trying to convince me? Like, there's no way I can know the truth of who you are. Like, this person's kind of learning that it's like, oh. So they see a lot of similarities, but you're the positive iteration of like, it's not complexity for complexity's sake and in order to maneuver people, it's nuance. You have you acknowledge the shades of gray. And while that might make this person feel a little bit uncomfortable because it makes them feel like seen. It makes them feel dissected. They know it's right. And this person is being initiated. They got initiated into some BS and fuckery. And now they're getting initiated into healing from that. So this is like, this person has had to wise up. And so they're healing from that still. And I realize I still haven't pulled these stupid love messages out. So I feel like this person is like, they're really avoiding trying to tell you how much they love or care about you because they don't want you to. They're afraid of what you're going to do with that information. Like if you're going to have some kind of power over them or play some kind of mind game with them, if you know that they have feelings, because this person's like, I'm ill-equipped. I don't want to play some weird mind game with you. Okay, so let's just see. What's the love message? Yeah, do not cast your pearls before swine. Okay. I want to take care of you the way you've always taken care of me. This person is a caretaker. And I think this person, that's why, like, they give a lot. And I think that's what set them up to be taken advantage of by a narcissist and to be, like, siphoned from and stolen from and just kind of used and abused is what I'm getting. Like, they were kind of used as a living bank account or, yeah, that's what I'm getting. Like, they were used for their hard work and for their, I don't know, they were used. I fear you will never forgive me. So for some of you, this person did something in the past that they didn't see clearly, again, because they're very like simple or something. I don't know. I fear you will never forgive me. And it could be once you realize who it was that they kind of gotten involved with. Because if this person has kids with that person and then you are in a relationship with that person, now you have to be around crazy too. Like, and so I don't know. It's kind of like maybe this won't ever work out. Or for some of you, it's like this person has really wised up. Like from the past, like this person has, because for some of you, if this is a connection from the past, this person was on some stuff and they were on some bullshit and fuckery themselves, like in the past. But they really have this, like, they are properly oriented and they have wised up. This person is very wise now. And they got involved with something really messy. I get scared for being honest with you. A lot of fear coming through. I know I was wrong by not talking to you. Would you be open to talking now? Interesting. Yeah, so this person owes you a conversation. This person owes you a conversation. They owed it to you in the past. Something happened here. I don't know what it is. It's not feeling like overly bad. This person, like, they feel ashamed and then they don't know how to deal with it, especially because they don't want to get into a sword fight. They don't want to get into like a battle of wits with you because this person's not trying to have wits with you, okay? Like, or with anyone. It's like, can you just say what you mean, please? Like, I think that you're better off without me. I'm working on myself so I can come back. Please wait for me. Other people were interfering and trying to control me. Interesting. We both need time to heal. I was selfish and immature. Please forgive me. This person sees things from your side. Just so you know. They see things from your perspective and they agree with you. And so, like, about themselves. This person agrees. I'm hearing, like, fully and wholeheartedly. They agree with you. They were on some bullshit. And they're scared. Because I think this person was in a relationship where they got blamed and they got treated very badly even when they didn't do something wrong. So when this person actually, I'm hearing, like, it's not about, like, we've been talking a lot about blame and accountability on the channel. this person can more than take accountability. They're afraid that they're going to get blamed because they were around a person who was out there. They were bonkers. This person was blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm just kind of getting like, this person just was just crazy. This person was crazy, like actually crazy. In their energy, it's like everywhere and nowhere all at once. It's like something that's just like all around you. And it's this person would have really struggled because there would have been no peace, like no peace. I feel empty without you. I miss our conversations and the sound of your voice. No other compares to you. I'm so sorry for messing up everything. You deserve so much more. And they told me they wanted to leave it off at like no other compares to you. But this person, again, it's this quiet thing. They're really remorseful for something they did. I'm so sorry for messing everything up. You deserve so much more. And I'm hearing, and I want to give it to you. Like this person like wants to give it to you. They want to make amends. They're just scared. They're very timid. This person has a timidity in their soul, and it's on an emotional level because this person got initiated. That's what these initiation cards are. I see. And again, they could have been through something here in the past. Again, I feel like this is the higher vibrational soul where it's like, I don't know why I got involved with you. It was this rescuer thing. I was on some bullshit. Like I was developing my identity from like being able to save you. Like that's what I was attracted to the most in you. And like everything that you were projecting, like, everything you were projecting was a lie. This person's like kind of recognizing that like here, and they had to walk away from something here where it's like, I can't, there's no fixing you. I just heard there's no fixing you. So they had to like deal with their own truth here. And now they see clearly. I'm hearing, I can see clearly now the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Like this person's realizing they were in their own way. This person also majorly got initiated into like the emotional sides of life. Because again, they've just been living on the material side. Well, there's so much more going on here than just the material plane. So they got very unpleasantly initiated. I'm hearing they could have taken a path with you and they would have gotten this like, again, nuanced, like they could have gotten a higher vibrational. I'm just hearing there's no way this person would have let that happen. There's like, yeah, that was a confirmation, I think. Like there was no way that this person just wasn't situated right in the past. They just really weren't. And they couldn't see the truth. And now they're seeing the truth and you are the truth and they're feeling like kept away from it. This person feels like they're looking at your life through a keyhole and they're feeling like the way this other person was toxic, they feel jaded. This person feels dirty. They feel, because they got involved with something really, really dirty. Like this, it almost feels, I know I'm being like really hyperbolic, but it almost feels like a demon. It's like they were married to a demon that put on a sheep's skin and they were touching it and they were involved with it and they said vows to it and potentially they like had kids with it. And so they feel jaded. They feel like dirty and like messed up energetically. And part of it is because that was the intention. It was to make this person feel like they were the wrong one and they were the dirty, messed up one. And they never were. And this person, that's why they have to kind of come out of that, because in comparison to your energy and the fact that you are strong here in like the emotional state, maybe you're not as strong on the physical, the material stuff. Maybe that's where you guys can both protect each other. I am kind of seeing shields, like one in one way and one in the other way. And so both of you are free to flourish. But it's like, yeah, this person has to like kind of process all that stuff because they got involved with something that made them feel like they were the messed up one. And they made one mistake, and it was trusting this person and taking them at their word and just not being able to see through them, basically. That's the only mistake this person made. But this person that they were with made them feel, I heard about this big. They made them feel about this big. And they made them feel like they were trash. Like, no. And it was just because I feel like this person got involved with a narcissist, to be honest. So it was a really rude awakening, and that's why they're scared. And I'm hearing, you've been in a relationship with narcissists before, whatever they were to you. So you know what that feels like to have to kind of deconstruct and realize like, I just got involved with a rotten egg. Like that's all that happened, and I have to forgive myself and I have to be compassionate and I have to move on. And you, I think, have that level of, but there's a lot of fear about how you're going to react, because I think this person's used to just getting emoted all over and like reacted all over. That's what I think. Okay. So there's a lot this person wishes that they could say, and they're strong and they're confident in their energy. They just have been around people who are fly off the handle, and they know that you're not, but they also, there's some things that they kind of see a similarity between you and their ex. But again, it's the complexity, but you have healthy complexity where it's like you bring nuance. You bring, sometimes it's not always black and white. Sometimes things are a shade of gray. And that always lends to a more truthful and a more compassionate perspective. And that's your nature. But this person, again, they were complex for the sake of being complex, for playing mind games and for always being right and getting people tied up so that they can't challenge and you look potentially very similar, but this person knows. I'm hearing like this person knows that you're not like that. They just have some healing to do. So anyways, that's what I have for you guys for pile number 2. Low down, dirty scoundrels. It's crazy out here. His ex was once best dressed in a contest, and I came in second. Yeah, you might have come in second with this person, and they're like, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Why would this pile ever come in second to anybody? Because it's kind of giving, bye Heather. It's kind of giving like you were gold, you were a golden nugget, and somebody polished up a turd like with their ex, and so they were like, look, gold, and then it was like a turd. And they might feel bad for making you come in second, or for comparing you unfavorably to somebody who is so broken and low down and awful. Like this person's a bad egg. Like whoever got involved with, simply just a bad egg. And this person does know that it was always there. Like if they were, that it was always apparent, it was always obvious to see, like who the person was that they got involved with. It was always obvious, but this person just didn't want to see it for whatever reason, or they thought they were the stronger energy. They thought they could save this person, and they wanted to be a rescuer. Potentially they wanted to be a rescuer. They wanted to feel strong that way. You know, this person just feel like they were their own worst enemy, and that they bought a lie basically. And that them buying a lie hurt a bunch of other people. And certainly if this person has kids with that person, they caused pain for a lifetime. They gave somebody that person as a father, or they gave that person as a mother to somebody who is going to probably be unwrapping that their whole life. More shiny. Leah just said, it makes me sad to know that people might look at me as narcissistic. I know, right? Like, but a lot of times, and what's weird now is like now the narcissists have all these vocabulary words. Like it used to be those of us who were just healing from it, and we didn't know what happened to us, and we were so shell shocked, and like we had to kind of piece these things together. That used to be the case, and now the landscape has entirely changed. I just watched an interview about this too. And one of the things, like this guy was saying something about virtue signaling, like a lot of like narcissists that are aimed and armed like with this information now, like they virtue signal. And it's always like, you know, they're trying to prove that they're not a narcissist basically. Like, I don't know. And it makes it hard out here because, and what do narcissists do, right? They project and they kind of like point fingers. So they'll try to attack you and they'll try to call you a narcissist. So it's like another thing that they kind of use against you. There are a million flies going to the pile of turd. It doesn't make a feeling. They get triggered with the terms. Well, they don't want to get called out too, because if you know what a narcissist is and it's like, oh, like you don't take them seriously anymore. Like you just kind of know, like you have some things you need to work out. And the problem with a narcissist is there's no self-reflection. There's no inner space. There's no inner awareness. And without inner awareness, you can't change. You can't make the changes that you need to change. So it's just, it's a lose-lose situation for everybody involved. And it really becomes kind of, I think, a karmic test of like just not getting involved with that person. You don't have to figure out how to save that person. And I just want to bring it back. There's other places to go besides Earth. There's other places to incarnate. And Earth is a place where that person can exploit other people. They have just the right mix of energies to where they're not getting help here. They're not forced to change here. They're just taking advantage of other people here. They need to be dealt with like in another way, you know? That's what I think. Some is very generous, Jess. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so let us move on to pile number 3. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. I don't know why I'm doing this. Is your person sing-songy or like fun? Oh, okay. So I just heard the truth is somewhere in between. There's your truth and my truth, and the truth is somewhere in between. We have the sword energy here. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so with pile number 3, this is interesting, okay, because how this person, okay, they're realizing that you're not all love and light is kind of what I'm getting. So you might be this person like, look, I just heard, I like my something, like I like my eggs sunny side up. Like, you have sunny side up energy, okay? And this is just very much, I'm seeing somebody leave their house. Okay, how do I describe this? I'm hearing the truth of you is somewhere in between. They're just realizing that you appear very jovial and bright, but you've gone through some real things. That's just what I'm getting. And that's where this like sword-like energy comes. Now, this person thinks a lot about the way you communicate and about a lot of the things that you say, or about one thing in particular you said that also that alerted this person that you're kind of King Arthur. I think this person was looking at you like you were what's her name? The girl, Guinevere, the girl. Sorry. Was looking and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you pulled that sword from the stone. Like, okay. I'm doing a bad job of explaining this. This person can't formulate into words what they've realized about you. Okay. It's like you've unlocked this new understanding of life and of people for them. This might be a continuation of pile number 2, honestly, for some of you. But there was something said here where it's like, oh, you're not all love and light. So maybe you held a boundary with this person, or for some of you, I'm hearing you hit the nose so right on the head with this person with something that you said. Like you called them out, and this person, you also alerted them to a side of themselves that they didn't even realize was there. And you saw it so matter-of-factly, and you called it out so matter-of-factly. I think this person is used to that. Used to, okay. This is only if the relationship is Libran. I just have to point this out. If you have a Leo Aquarius relationship with a person and somebody does not know you, you have to stop deluding yourself and like pick one of the other piles. Okay. So, getting back to this, I feel like you said something to this person that you are in relationship with. You said something so matter of fact. You said something so like to the point that it really like shook them awake, and they realized that your power. That's what I'm getting. This person's realizing that you're very powerful, and that you've been through a lot, and you've also been through like the darker sides of life, but that you're choosing to be very positive and you're choosing to be very sunny side up. But there's so much more kind of going on here. You've called this person's energy up in some kind of a way, and they are really, really grateful, but it was very shocking. Like whatever this was, whatever happened here. So, okay. And it has to do with an obstacle. So, like you could have put an obstacle in this person's path. There was something here, and they thought it was a bad thing, but it wasn't. It was actually like a really, really good thing. There's karma that's going on here. There was some kind of like obstacle or impediment, and it's either was going on within this person, and you pointed out exactly what it was, and this person was kind of like, whoa, holy shit. Like, this is a very powerful person. This is somebody I should not mess with. This person knows way more, like either about me and my situation, stuff that I thought that I was keeping hidden, stuff that I thought they know way more about me than I was ever giving them credit for. And they're realizing that that's the truth of it. You didn't get lucky. You didn't just take a stab in the dark. You saw something very clearly and you pointed it out. And this person, I think this person was going around like underestimating you, or thinking that you were like some kind of a lightweight energy. And they were like, damn. And it kind of came like completely out of the blue, and you were the force that like knocked their karma. So like their Saturn, whatever it was that was like, this is some kind of long standing issue that this person has had or something, is long standing. Okay. And it's very obstinate and it's very heavy. It could be a person, it could be an illness, it could be a disease, it could be a way of relating to the world. I don't know. It was long standing. It was in their way. It was blocking their view. It was obscuring their view. And you saw it immediately. And you didn't play. You weren't making excuses for it. You said, no, that's the problem. It needs to move. You saw it so clearly. You touched it. And this person was like, oh my gosh. Because they were just thinking that you were out here like bohemian, like love and light. Maybe some of you talk a lot about food, or something. So it's like they thought that you were, maybe had a conversation about that. Or there could be some like reference to an egg. Like, I don't know. Like you could have shared a recipe or something. So this person was thinking like, oh, this is this person. They like to smile. They like superficial things. They don't get too deep with it. And then this person was like, oh, like there's something here where it's like, oh, this is the most heavyweight energy I've ever been around. And I didn't really know it. And they're so strong that it's like, this is what I was saying when I'm getting like, I see somebody leaving the house in the morning, because it's like when you leave the house, you get ready and you leave the house. Okay. You're in whatever state you want to be in when you're in your home, right? It might be messy. You might have your gut out. You might like have like your hair messed up, but you get yourself ready in order to leave the house, in order to interact with the world. And that's a healthy thing. Like you're very imbalanced with that. So this person's realizing that, oh, I've never been in this person's home. And that might be literally, but it's also, they don't know you. There's no intimacy here. They don't know you on an intimate level. And this person was thinking they knew all there was to know about you. So that right there tells me the social emotional intelligence maybe isn't the strong suit here. This person, I think, is very intelligent. This person's kind of a know-it-all is what I'm getting, or there's that element there. Even if it's not like an overall kind of a thing, but it's like they just thought they knew everything there was to know. They were so confident in their worldview. They thought that they had you pegged, something like that. And then you came around and you proved this person wrong. You like so quickly without them even know. You played them, but you didn't play them. You're not trying to play them. It's like you got around them. They didn't even know that you were like on the inside, like looking around. That's what like has kind of shattered this person. And they're like, well, I really only looked at the surface and I made a bunch of assumptions. Like this person is realizing that they made a bunch of assumptions about you. And now it's like kind of scaring them. Like, I think this person might be intimidated or a bit afraid of you, to be honest. And they might be trying to put up some kind of obstacles here. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. But I get the sense that this person started with you. They started trying to play with you. You know, they started trying to mess with you. And then you just were like, ba. And this person was like, what? Whoa. And it's like, don't come into my house. And then, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like this person was very surprised by you. And all of this really is a blessing. But this person got scared away. This person's low-key afraid of you. Not low-key even. Like, this person is like, like went running scared. So where pile number 2 was like, they saw your energy and they're not intimidated by it. They understand that your person's secure enough. I just heard in their masculinity and their manhood to like understand when they're beat, understand when they're wrong, to admit when they're wrong. This person tucks tail and runs. Like, it's scared. Like, your energy scares them. Seeing you. This is also a person who may have, yeah, like if this is a man, their masculinity kind of needs some bolstering here. And they thought that you could provide that because they thought you were a sweet little cherub, but then come to find out you're like wicked smart or something like that. We flipped the crepe on him. Good, be scared. Boo! I love it. Oh my gosh. I just have to read this out loud. Marina was saying that she just joined us and she stayed home from work due to an allergic reaction. And she was on a video call with her doctor right before this. Oh my gosh. That's so crazy. Anyways, okay. Yeah. Like, this person is like deeply afraid of you. Okay. So also this person could have left and then come back, and maybe they thought that they were going to get away with something. I don't know. You called this person out on their nonsense. Yo, this person, yeah, they were looking at you like you're Venus. Okay. But like I said, Venus, it always bothers me the way that people look at Venus, because Venus is a broadly intelligent energy. It's so heavy hitting, but people do kind of reduce it down to like an aesthetic pleasingness. So this person thinks that you're really, really attractive. They're very drawn to your body. They find you very alluring, very seductive. Brody, thank you so much for being so generous today. To quote you from another reading, the moment you thought this was a competition, I had you beat. Yo! May have been from the reading about the incarnated spirit guides. Dang, that's a good phrase. I'm glad I said that. Clearly I didn't say that. Something else did. That's amazing. And thank you guys so much for the super chats today. Everybody's been so generous. We've got some veterans like Heather and Catherine. Thank you guys so much for your donations. Everybody, thank you so much. Yeah. So they were, and okay, there's something about your conversation where I think you have very good manners in conversation. Okay. Somebody raised you right is what I heard. So, and I think that you're maybe a social smoother and you try to keep people, okay, egg on their face. I just heard egg on their face. So I think that you actually, you are loving. So you're sharp as a tack. Okay. But you're also very loving and you don't want people to feel called out and you don't want people to feel embarrassed. So I think you go out of your way to be like a social smoother, to kind of, I got this in another reading, just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. It's like you will be truthful with people, but you try to do it in a way that's delicate and treat others the way that you would like to be treated. Like, you really do try to embody that. You are living embodiment here of your values. But this person really misunderstood that. I think they really tried it. They tried you, and then they played themselves, is what I'm hearing. They tried you, and then they played themselves. Because Venus, like, sees the whole in things, okay? Like, the sum is greater than the whole of its parts. That's you. And this person was noticing like little things about you. And then again, they were making these assumptions. This is also a person who thinks that they're good at psychology because they reduce things down. I cannot stand this. You know, getting a degree in psychology, obviously, like, I was around a lot of different kinds of professors, and every professor kind of like, you know, has their own like perspectives and stuff. But I had this one person, and he was like the head of like the entire program, which was like really bothersome. But he was like a recovered behavioralist. But he would throw it out there. He would be like, well, I'm a behavioralist. If you don't know what that is, it's like very reductionist. It's very scientific. It's very like material. It's very much like input, output. Again, like, human beings are just not like that. And I was like, I'm really not going to vibe with this person, but they're like the head of my entire program. Like, but like, yeah, so it's like breaking everything down. And you have the ability to do that here with Mercury, and you're very skillful. You're very deft. You are so deft that this person didn't realize all of the deftness that you were like putting into yourself. That what they were taking as a very lightweight energy, as you just being afraid, you know, or you just being maybe not very smart and not able to kind of piece things together. Like, kind of, they're giving me the impression of like maybe somebody has like, I'm seeing like bashful in the Seven Dwarves, or like dopey. I don't know if those are the same ones, but like somebody who's just like easy and pleasant to be around, but it's like they're not like wicked intelligent. So this person was kind of maybe thinking that you were one way. They were thinking that you were like that. Come to find out, like, again, you're sharp as a tack. You were seeing everything that this person was doing. You were just being kind. You're just kind. So this person mistook your kindness for weakness. And now it's, you know what? They're running from themselves. This person can't really accept that about themselves, that they are somebody who underestimated you. I'm hearing the word misogyny. It's because this person has like a deep-rooted misogyny that they don't take seriously and that they can't see. They think that because they consume women. This person consumes women and female art or female culture, or like they find women to be very attractive. They also like conversations with women and listening to that and getting involved with it. They think because of that they are like a friend to women, but this person consumes women. And if women, as long as women are palatable to them, as long as they stay in their place, as long as they express themselves one way. So this person's like a hidden enemy to you and I think you would have picked up on that because you have this side of yourself, but you're also aware when it's something that's expected of you or something that's being exploited. And so when you started to express strength, like your strength, and I am hearing like scorpionic, like female strength to me is like very Scorpio. And so when you had a stinger, and you can shoot to kill too, like Scorpio's that little stinger. Yeah, that's from a song too, like I shoot to kill something. I don't know. I wish I could think of it. Then this person was like, whoa. So you got this person and you got them. Nobody else could touch them. Because I'm picturing a boxing match and you touched them. Like this, you made contact. Because females tend to be smaller and have shorter arms. So, but you touched this person. I'm hearing something like sting like a bee, quick like a something, sting like a bee. So it's like this person's bigger than you, but slower than you. Mentally, they're slower than you and it scared them. So you intimidate this person and they don't like it. And they don't like the vision of themselves that they got in the way that they interacted with you because you shined a light on the fact that this person's misogynistic. They are. They're small. You shined a light on the fact that they're small and that they don't live their values and that they actually do expect you to be one way. Like this person couldn't stand it. They couldn't handle it. And this person, I think, has been able to kind of duck and weave. That's what I'm getting. This person's been able to duck and weave from themselves, but not with you. Not with you. You held up a very strong mirror to this person. And there's something that you actively said or pointed out in some way. I think it was probably with your words or literally you pointed it out. You were like, look at this. Yeah, they can't see you clearly and it's dangerous. I'm just hearing you played yourself. This person, and I just heard you plagued yourself as well. So I think this person's getting very nasty, very negative karma. And also this person's being blocked from you because it's not to get on you in any way. Like this person's negative energy and like this person also, okay, this is, switch these energies like if you need to, right? You know how this fits your situation. But for most of you, I think I'm giving this the way that it needs to be given. This person is like, they fit into a lot of clubs, This is also a person who tries to get people on side. They make a lot of associations and they do that in order to give themselves a sense of power and also to make themselves seem very social. This person might be very well connected and, but they do all of this so that they never get called out. And again, this person may have a similar way of communicating, but they do all of it so that they don't get called out for like whatever it is that they are doing. What are this person's hidden feelings for you? Okay, I just heard Lilith. So we all know the story of Lilith, but I'm hearing like Dark Moon Lilith because when you have Lilith connections with somebody in astrology, it's like a deep sexual attraction to somebody. Lilith can almost be like you will wreck an actually healthy relationship over the connection you feel with somebody. But once you take action on that, it fizzles out very quickly and you quickly realize that it's like a mess. Like there's nasty, like negative, messy kind of karma. So that could be the connection between the two of you. But I do think that there's a very intense sexual attraction. But of course, Lilith got kicked out because she refused to be a subservient. That's what I'm getting. Like there's a misogynistic quality. This is Adam having to confront himself because he would not let Lilith just be on top sometimes. That's like really what it feels like. Or let her pin him when she was legitimately right. So she got like outcasted and branded as an enemy. So this person may have like branded you as an enemy. Again, I need to emphasize this so strongly. This is if you have a Libran connection, not in your mind with somebody. You have an actual Libran connection. It is one person to one person. You've been in one-to-one. You have a relationship with one another. They would recognize that you are somebody, they have a one-to-one relationship with you. You recognize you have a one-to-one relationship with you and that a conversation was initiated and kept going on both sides. Okay. If there's something, if it's not that situation, what's going on is that you are deluding yourself and you're actually more akin to this person. Okay. But you're trying to project this out onto somebody else, and it's because you don't have the context right. They're being very clear with me about this, and you need to pick another pile is what I'm hearing. Yeah. So you have to be able to get the context of your relationships right in order to understand them clearly, is what I'm hearing. And maybe that's something that this person is learning, but I think this is a person who, again, they try to fit in with certain groups. They try to mess with like the potentially the context of relationships here. What else? There's definitely a past life connection. There's a lot of physical attraction here. This person's, yeah. This person thinks that this person may have like money or position or something. Like this person, holier than thou. Like I just think this person, because they're associated with wealthy people and like wealthy groups, they thought they were better than you. That's what I'm getting. Like this person, and they didn't think that they had to be equal with you. So this is a situation where you were connecting on it. That's okay. The Libra card just came out for me. Okay. Right. That's why they were emphasizing like, no, this is if you had a Libran connection. Okay. Because it's in that confines. This should have been a Libran connection. Everybody should have been heard equally. But this person wasn't offering that because they thought that they had the resources or that they were better than you in some way. Like they really did. I just heard like the great I am. And then you just, yeah, you didn't, you were actually the better one, the stronger one. And you like kind of just, I just feel like you're the type of person that observes, and this person asked for your opinion on something, or I get the sense that this person initiated because they felt like this person initiated with you on some level. They initiated a relationship, they initiated a conversation because they were egotistically in this place of like, I'm better than you. And you are observant. You are very observant. And so when you actually said something, again, it feels like, I don't think you have like much of a interaction, but when you connected, you said something so on the head, so matter of fact, and it like flipped everything in this person's mind. This person's very entitled, but they don't see it. This person can't see themselves clearly. He thought he had his shiz more figured out than me. Thought it was a joke because I'm an astrologer and a tarot reader. Well, isn't that just horrible? This person wants to reconcile, but it's like on their terms. This person's very pushy. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so Tower. Solid foundation, success with effort. This person feels like they've built up a lot in the material world. That's what I'm saying. I'm really drawn to all the gold bangles and stuff. And for me, bangles, especially like on the arms and things, like it can represent like belonging to a group. Like that's just the way that I'm seeing it. And this person wanted to belong to certain groups that were maybe wealthy because they felt like that could get them around obstacles. So again, this person doesn't have like manifestation. But they want you to think that it's like God gave them everything that they had. In reality, this person's a schemer, and they try to associate with certain people that are wealthy or certain groups that they feel like can open doors for them and get them around certain obstacles. But they just hope that nobody sees that about them. But I think you saw very clearly that this person has schemed to get everything that they wanted. Okay, look, fair man, dealings or relationship with a man with blonde or gray or white hair. So you could be dealing with this type of person here. But I'm really drawn to that word fair. Like they are acting like they're fair and they're acting like they're balanced. Grasshopper, situation in the balance that requires careful handling. They didn't see this about you, that they should be a little bit more careful with your energy or something. Hammock, taking a vacation physically or mentally. Mountain road, you are on the road to success, and feather, someone you know is undependable and insincere. I actually think this is your side of it. Like this person's undependable and insincere. You saw it. This person thought that you couldn't see it, that all you saw was this benevolent thing that they were putting forward, but you saw it and you called it out, and you could have cut things off with them, or you said something very matter of fact. This person's having to face themselves. This is a person who potentially is the lower vibrational energy that we were getting in pile number 1, but I feel like, again, I'm seeing spirit with the sword, but I'm seeing the mirror part of the sword, and spirit's forcing them into the cave, but they're scared of their own reflection, and they're not even getting much of their own reflection because it's just like in the sword of truth, but it's something that you held on, and it's like a talisman, and you're kind of getting this person like away, and this person's like a little like spider, and they're like and they're being driven kind of like into the cave. This is like epic what's going on here. Social climber. It's social climber energy. But this person, if that's what I'm saying, it's like there's some gaslighting here. There's like fragmenting or hiding, because if this person was like, yeah, I'm a social climber. I met so-and-so and I kissed their butt enough to where they gave me an opportunity at their company, or they gave me a leg up in some way, and that's why I'm this person. No, they don't want you to see all that. They just want you to see like, oh, I'm the pinnacle of success from my own making. But really, this person just has a lot of investment in capitalism, I think, and in playing the game and in schmoozing and rubbing up on people. This is somebody who will do anything to like get ahead. And I think you saw that in them, and they were shocked. This person was actually shocked that you weren't buying their bullshit. Because I think a lot of people want to suck up to this person, or because this person sucks up to people who have resource or connections, they were expecting you to do that as well. But you put up a wall instead, and now this person's like, wait a minute, there's a misunderstanding. And Spirit, you're like, no, there wasn't. I think I called you very fair. I think I called you very correctly. Look, weeping willow. This person, look, control your anger. You will be sorry. And that's the lightning strike. So I think this person couldn't control themselves, but this feels demeaning in some way. Yeah. And now it's leading to some kind of family sorrow here for this person. And then look, I knew there was something here about the axe that he's holding. And then we have, look, forces are working against you. But the forces that are working against them are like in their own hands. It's in their own hands. But claims he's an anti-capitalist. He's, yeah, that's like hollow. Okay, and then I'm hearing that song Hollow by Mills. And it's like, talking about like, you use me the same, so we both feel the shame. I guess that's fine. Like, this person has very hollow connections and very hollow relationships, because they use people and then they get used by people, and that's what they call being in a relationship. And so they feel like there's a certain dynamic that should go on. There's a certain order. Like, why don't you just play the game? Like, there's a certain natural order. So you're a real one, and you saw that this was a fake one, and you didn't want to be friends with these people or this person or whoever this was. You didn't want that, because you don't involve yourself with this kind of energy, and it's a values thing. And your freedom is what I'm getting. Your freedom. You want your freedom, and you don't want to be. This person's bought and they're bound. This person has made a lot of deals with the devil. That means that they're not free. And this person can't understand you. They can't understand that you would rather have your freedom than diving into a pile of money like Donald Duck, you know? Loneliness. This person they always feel alone in their heart, but it's because they're not surrounded by real friends. Yeah, this is like a female power group. Blame. This person wants to blame you for something. And yeah, abundance. There's something here to do with money, where it's like, don't you want this money? This person was like, don't you want this money? Like, aren't you going to tolerate me and my BS because you want this money? This person has a lot of fear. This is what I'm getting. And Kali may be protecting you. I think you release this person. And this person has a lot of fear. This person is like very fear orientated. Let's see. They need to learn their lesson. There's just no two ways around it. I think spirit is done with this person. And you have a lot of faith. And you go with the flow. And you trust your intuition. Is what I'm getting. Money isn't freedom. Yeah. And this person deals a lot with a middleman. So I don't know what that means. But like, I always think this. It's like, there's a way of navigating the world where it's like you always include a middleman. Because it's like you want freedom. But instead of calling out for freedom and developing a relationship with freedom, you develop a relationship with money because you think money equates to freedom. If you want freedom, say you want freedom. This person, that's how the devil gets this person. And a lot of people, it's like by making them think that like money is freedom, or like, you know, and it can lead to freedom, but it's like, how do you go about getting your money is going to determine whether or not like you actually have freedom. You can be so wound up. And I think it's something this person is, I just heard this person has a karmic contract with money. Yeah. This person's energy is like really making me frown. Yeah, look, release keeps coming out. Release keeps coming out. You release this person. And it made them like in this energy, like very fearful. This person has taken people down in the past. And you are free. You got what you wanted. Because you work with the right energies. You got your freedom. You're free and you're having a new beginning, and this person has to look up to you, and that's the correct positioning. Like, this person has to look up to you. But see how she's got like these skulls around her neck? I feel like this person is very skillful and they're very inventive. This is like the snake that can get into any little nook or cranny into your house. That's what this person is. So they're very good at changing their face or changing their tact to declare war. This person's war oriented. They're very dedicated to that. This person can be fixated on you. They want to take some kind of an action. They want to get you into some kind of a bind or a commitment, because that is what, this could be legal matters or something. They could have wanted to marry you, but just to control you, kind of a thing. Like, take this however it's resonating. But your truth, like, shone a light on this. This person just saw you as beautiful. And again, now they're being acquainted with your power. You are a heavy hitting energy. You know the truth about them. You know what you know. I think this person was arguing in their mind about, like, they were disrespecting you. This person wasn't taking you very seriously, or they weren't accepting that you were tapping into something very real about them when you said whatever you said. They were just refusing to, because they thought that all they were doing was focusing on their little snaky little ways of just changing tack, putting on a different face, trying to get you on side. And then when you didn't buy it, it scared this person, because they were like, oh my God, like, this person is not playing. This is real. This person really sees something about me. They actually really see it. And it scared this person. That's like really what I'm getting. So now this person's kind of like, I'm seeing somebody hissing and like being pulled back. Now this person's feeling defensive, and now they're being put in a mode of observation. Now they're watching what you're saying and how you're communicating with much more seriousness. They're seeing that you speak with authority. They're seeing that you speak with clarity, and it's putting them in a weakened position. But this person needed to be, this is like 30 years ago is what I'm hearing. This person needed to be in a weakened position, but instead they just kept building themselves up. That's that tower energy. They kept building the tower and tower. We think of the tower card and the tower moment as like the lightning striking the tower, but you don't think about the years. This feels like 30 years is what I'm getting. Like, this feels like a long time this person was building up the tower, the wrong tower, and they had every opportunity to turn around, but they just kept doing the negative thing because they were so adept at it. And it's not who this person is, and it's not like dealing in their freedom. And you have shown a light on this, something about your personhood, your philosophy, your connection with truth. You speak to their inner core. You saw their inner core, and you speak to their inner core, or you only, whether or not you're actually having conversations with this person, because it's like when you deal with this person, you deal with their inner core. You don't deal with the facade that they put out. You are talking and speaking and relating directly to their inner core, and it makes this person feel some type of way. So you're doing this person a favor, but I also think that it's like you've drawn a line in the sand, and you need to like keep that. This person has been like kind of skewered with their own truth, and they've needed that for a long time. They've had their own truth around them. People have tried to call them out, but it's just that people eventually cave, or this person's really manipulative is just what I'm getting. They're just really manipulative, and it makes them wrongly believe that they're right, because nobody's been able to like hold their feet to the fire, essentially. So they just think that they're right, or that they're not doing anything wrong, but not with you. They can't do it with you, because you can hold this person's feet to the fire, because you're immovable, because you can see this person for exactly who they are, and it's a very uncomfortable for this person, position for this person to be in. And it is like you were the final pebble, where it's like all these other people in their past were actually correct about them, and this person will have to answer to the fact that they put good people in negative positions and negative people in positive positions within their own mind. Like, I'm hearing there's a worshipful energy, there's a ass kiss energy, there's a sucking up, there's a simping out, there's devotional energy. They're kind of showing me bhakti, misplaced bhakti. There's a worship being, a devotional energy to, to like negative energies. They've invested in those negative energies. They've promoted those negative energies in the world. That's their legacy. That's their legacy for 30 years. And they've been getting messages, and they've had really good people come in that they discredited, that they tried to outmaneuver. This is all being called due now. And those people are getting their justice in part through you, because you have managed to flip something, flip a switch, flip the light on internally inside of this person, where it's like, you are decrepit, you are the problem here, and you displaced that. You made all these other people feel like they were wrong, and some of them you put on the wrong path. Like, I'm hearing like could be with drugs, could be like you got some of these other people into a bad habit. You initiated them into your own warped, diluted way of thinking. You should feel ashamed, and you will be held accountable is what I'm getting. So this person feels intimidated because you have initiated all these things for this person. So yeah. I'll get some hidden truth messages, but I would take what this person says with a grain of salt because this is forked tongue. This is like, this person is just, no. Sounds like the friend I had to walk away from. I love you. I just saw I love you. This person acts like they come in the face of love, but you know differently. We'll be together again. I feel you even though we're apart. Yada, yada. I'll wait for a sign from you. Not soon enough, you didn't. I wish I could take back my words. So this person has to go through a lot before. That's the energy they need to be in. I wish I could take back my words. This person needs to feel regret and they need to feel remorse. This, to me, strikes me as one of those narcissists that has all the jargon and stuff. I was watching this woman. I brought this up in another reading. I was watching this woman and she was making this whole TikTok about some very private family business. And she was saying that she didn't want to get taken in by the shame spiral. And very clearly, I was like, this woman has never felt shame a day in her life. She's just saying that because it's what real people who do have emotions, we are at risk for getting sucked into the shame spiral and feeling like I'm such a piece of shit. When in reality, you just made a mistake. Like, dust yourself off. Like, real people, empathetic people can get stuck there. That woman, shame would be the best thing that ever happened to her. If she could actually feel shame and remorse and genuine guilt and go into a shame spiral, because she's never been in one. Like, it's very obvious to me. If she just let that overtake her once in her entire life, if she went through a 6-month period of depression, it would probably be the best thing that ever happened to her, you know, because she just needs to get real with herself about who she is and the pain that she's caused to other people. But she was steady on the side of like thinking that she was right. And she had all the jargon and she had the slick thinking and she did all the fake crying and like where there's no tears coming out. You know, and it's weird. It is weird when somebody like sets up the camera and then like starts crying. Like, it's like, what? Remember, yeah, I don't want to get into it. There was that nurse that kind of did the same thing, but the whole internet was like, why did you set up your phone like in the middle of your shift? I don't know. It was giving that energy. And so this person, it's like they have quite a ways to go. Like this person, it started the process of them kind of unraveling certain things, but they have quite a ways to go before they actually hit pay dirt and start feeling genuinely regretful and remorseful. Because I think this person right now is just at the place where they're thinking they can juke and jive. Because this person's a snake that will try to get into your house. House is a metaphor here. Try to get into your energy, into your friend group, whatever it is, by any means possible. If there's the smallest little hole, and that's all they're focused on right now. I don't care what face this person's putting on it, what language they're using. That's the energy they're in. They're trying to find any little hole that they can get back in. When in reality, it's like, I wouldn't have heard from you for 6 months if you were doing what you needed to do. You know? Like, I don't remember her name. But it was a nurse that was like working in the ER and she was like, the feeling like when you just lost a patient. And then she was like crying and the whole internet was like, clearly she set up the camera. Like, that was the whole thing that everybody's saying about it. It's like, clearly she set up the camera. Things are busy. Like, I don't know. It's just like, literally your house as well. That's all they're focused on. So the longer that when this person realizes that there's no getting back in because you really do actually see through to the heart of them. And you actually don't appreciate that this person can't deal in their own truth and that you're saying very real things. And this person's just been able to get people to flip on and betray their own self and betray their own intuition, and you just won't. And so I think it's like the longer this person realizes that you're actually not playing, you actually don't believe anything that they're saying, you don't trust them as far as you can throw them, you've seen what you've seen, you felt what you felt, you know what you know about them, and it makes you completely shut down to them. When this person faces that reality and can't get around that reality, that's when they're going to start to actually do the work. And this is, again, spirit putting this person in the cave. So, yeah. I bury myself in work to forget you. I am not available. Like, literally, that's how the conversation went, is I bury myself in work to forget you. And you're like, I'm not available for this. Because it just reminded me, like, how, oh, like, what is this person saying? Like, when we tap into this, people that we care about, people that we love, that maybe we've had a falling out and we're trying to resolve it through tarot. And it's like, well, what would this person say to you? And so this person's, like, trying to be a part of that. They're like, well, what would I say to you? And you're like, I'm not available. Or like in Mean Girls, where the mathletes guy walks up to Lindsay Lohan and he's like, yeah, your friend Gretchen told me that you got a crush on me, but I only date women of color. And she just goes, I have to pee. And like walks away. That's you. I have to pee. All right. That's what I have for you guys in pile number 3. Stand strong. Again, there's a truth that pervades this earthly time reality. I think, to be honest, I think you've already seen through this person in a past life. I think that's why you can see through them in this life. It's so cemented in like in your soul as who this person is. And I think that maybe you gave the okay for this person to observe your energy in this life, but you're like, I think you're a scumbag and I just really don't want you around me. I don't want a relationship. I don't want a conversation. You break those lines, you're out of here. And you understand? And this person was like, couldn't do that. And so they got out of here. That's what I'm getting. All right. I have to pee. All right. Nice. The only sign I have for him is the middle finger. I do hide in the bathroom when she comes over. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's a person it's like you can't have in your house. Okay. I'm just going to take a second here. Okay. Well, actually, I'm kind of moving on into like the general message here. Whatever spirit wants to bring to your attention, keep in mind, this may resonate with you. It might not resonate with you. Okay, interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we've got a reading here coming out. All right. So we have the Five of Cups here. And the Five of Cups is such a, or the Five of Pentacles. Five of Cups, interesting. So I feel like you could be going through a space of grieving or somebody else's. But the Five of Pentacles is such an interesting card because it's like the left out in the cold card, but it also represents sanctuary. So it's like you may have had to leave somebody out in the cold in order for you to find your sanctuary and have a new beginning. Or somebody has done this to you. Like they've left you out in the cold and you're feeling sad. But Spirit's saying like you need to look at this as a new beginning and like be energized and take a leap of faith here with Spirit. That's whatever this is going on. And I'm noticing, interesting, like the throat chakra, the egg of life here, like something here is like being rebirthed and it's being reborn. Whatever's gone on. Like, see how different like these energies are? It's like very sad and very like down in the dumps, but this is like some kind of a new beginning. There could be like some kind of issue with money or something like that here as well too. But it's like, this is supposed to give you some kind of spark of a new beginning. Like you might be getting some kind of an idea. Like if you got let go or laid off from a job, then this is some kind of exciting, new, passionate beginning. Something here has the potential for a lot of growth. You just have to look at it as an opportunity. That's another thing that's coming through because you have everything that you need inside of you to succeed. This is all about like being independent, standing on your own 2 feet. And for some of you, it's like, if you have been left out in the cold, again, it's like somebody is observing you. They need, or you need to observe somebody else that's in this energy because Spirit is wanting to intervene in this situation. Spirit has done something here to intervene in the situation in order to get the winds of change like actually going in your favor, but you need to hold on to hope. Some of you, there's like a distance, there's a being far away or something, but it's a healing process. It's a healing process. There's something here like, yeah, there's somebody you want to be in a relationship with or something here, and it's like you're at a distance, but it's very good. It's very healing. It's very healing. Some of you need to let somebody go. Some of you, like somebody here has let you go. And I feel like that's been a theme here throughout this entire reading, but that just came out so readily. So Spirit is just saying it wants you, Spirit has actively intervened in this space in order to get distance, in order to bring healing, in order to potentially like connect you with a different network, or to connect this person, to make sure like this person's connecting with a different network. Something here is being protected. I'm hearing sanctity or like sanctified, sanctamundi I just heard as well. Somebody here could be Catholic. Or yeah. So it's just about, and opportunities are kind of coming your way, but it's like you need to build something here and then like more opportunities will come your way. You need to confront certain things. Okay, so I'm going to leave that alone. We're going to move on to a different energy, a different kind of message. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Divine Sacred Wisdom said some nice things about me. Okay. Okay, so Spirit, what do you want to say? Because you gotta have faith, faith, faith. Da 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 da. And then I just saw the balance card. Okay, Spirit, what? Trust. And I don't know if you guys have watched Ted Lasso, but like he paints the word believe on a sign and he like hangs it up over his office. And he's like, at one point he's like, all right, I want everybody's eyes up on me when I say this. And then he just like jumps up and like taps the believe. It's like, you got to believe. Well, you got to have faith, faith, faith. I feel like this is just about trusting the process. Understanding that there are forces in the universe higher than yourself and certainly higher than your own ego that can piece things together that might not make sense to you, again, on this human timeline. You have to really embody that perspective. It's not enough to just say that or to tap in on Sundays or on Fridays, like when you get together with your spiritual group. That's not enough. You have to like actually live that, and that's what's going to tip the fear on its head. There's a lot of fear here, I think, that's actually been crept up in this situation. I realize I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Health. Also, like, take care of your physical vessel. That's something that's going to help you. It's the ship that you're literally navigating on, is what I'm getting. Heart healthy diet is what I'm hearing. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. If you've been saying bad things about your body, please stop, because your body loves you so much. I get this energy sometimes when I tap into like the physical body energy, but it's like your body literally works every moment of every day to love and support you. Like, it's regenerating cells, and it's making sure energy like gets so that you can live your dreams, so that you can get up, so that you can, walk out your door and do whatever it is that you want to do. Your body like loves you unconditionally. I'm feeling it in my own body. Maybe just sit and connect with that space, like in your body. Your body is just kind of like in this people pleasing energy of, I love you so much. And I just want to help you. Like, please take care of me so that I can take care of you. I'm not trying to work against you. I don't like it when you say mean things to me. I am a miracle happening and unfolding for you at all periods of time. Like, don't be your enemy. Don't restrict your diet for me. Like, don't take care of me. Love me like I love you. Love me the way that I love you. Like, your body is like, mommy, like, I'm just hearing that. Like, I just want your love and appreciation, and like, stop looking at those stupid magazines. Yeah, I'm working out right now. Yes. Like, and doing good things for your body. Like, spend some time developing that relationship with your body. Your body loves you so much. That's coming through. And I've gotten this in another message where it's like, your body's kind of the secret key, the secret ingredient to something that you can't figure out, or even if you've been feeling in a negative mood, it's like when your body feels good, like, you kind of feel good. It is like giving to Gaia or Bhumi too. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, anything else? Change is coming. I just heard the winds of change is coming. I just heard change is a funny thing to talk about with human beings, because they don't understand, like, they don't get it. You only realize that a change is happening when you can actually see things changing, but you have to understand that that there's a reason we call it the winds of change. It's like change starts to roll in before you can kind of percept it. Like, but if that's why, like, if you meditate, if you bring your energy down, if you tune yourself into the subtleties of life, you're going to realize that there's changes that are coming in, and that they've been coming in like longer than you could even like kind of recognize it. So I think I'm getting goosebumps, and I kind of feel like the wind is caressing my skin, because I feel like Spirit has been trying to tell you a change is coming, but it's in the subtle things. And for some of you, it literally is in the wind, or like some kind of that you just don't know how to read, or you don't know how to like accept or love. Because some of you have been praying, you're like, I'm having such a hard time, but they're showing me like internally the state of your hard time and like the mental energy around it. Because remember what I was saying in pile number 1, it's like we build mental constructs in our mind, and then we live in those mental constructs. So you've built this kind of like understanding that you have of a certain situation that you're just like living in. It's like you kind of locked yourself away in your own prison. So it's hard for Spirit to like kind of get in. And I mentioned this before, be on the lookout for feathers. I'm also hearing wind chimes. Or like, yeah, the wind. And some of you need to get wind chimes that you don't find annoying, so that you can have this kind of reminder, or like every time that you hear the wind chimes, because there's something about it being the natural world and hitting the wind chimes where it's not coming from you, that you'll actually like believe it. So for me, like, I got this through a message like from somebody that I really trust, and she was like, you find feathers, and like literally there are like herds, I don't know, it's not a herd, but like herds of turkeys like where I live, and they're just like out everywhere. And I will literally, like, when I'm in a really dark mood, because I like to process my emotions when I'm walking, and because I like to go far, and I like to be alone, and I like to move my body when I'm processing my emotions. And when I'm in a really, really dark space, like, it never fails. I shit you not. I find a feather, like a turkey feather. One that's like perfect too. You know what I'm saying? Like every turkey feather is like a good turkey feather, but every once in a while you find one that's just like, mwah. Alex the other day was like, you have so many turkey feathers. Cause like I just collect them, and then like I have this little pegboard that I put them on. That's your angels. It's like your own energy, your own higher self is like trying to break through to you and trying to say, you've built this construct. The winds of change are here. Can't you feel it? But it's saying like, It's the subtle energies, attune to the subtle energies. Because whatever's in your mind, this construct, is so big and it's so heavy and it's so dense. And Spirit's like, I'm not going to be able to penetrate through that because you're not making the decision to reach out of that. I'm communicating with you. It's just in a way you don't recognize because it's subtle. My energy is subtle and it's calm. And that's the energy you're trying to tap into. Well, you have to make the effort to tap into that as well. Another woman that I listen to, she's like very psychic, and she says, I have to raise my energy vibration in order to be able to talk to Spirit and hear Spirit, and they have to lower theirs down in order to kind of like meet me. And like, that's kind of what I'm getting is like, do make the effort sometimes to like, and I'm picturing somebody in a bath now, like where you can just melt it away, because the water and showers are such a great place to process your emotion too, or in the bathtub, get it all out of you, so that you can actually make that connection, because they're communicating with you. Some of you, it's like you've been praying or you've been having a hard time, and then you're turning around and you're saying to Spirit, like, why won't you like help me? Dee Dee, thank you so much for the super chat. It's like, why won't you help me? And Spirit's like, we are helping you, but like, you're not getting the message because you're not on the same vibration, but it's because of the density. And it's like, I'm not getting through that density, because that's what you're putting your focus. You're choosing to put your focus. You're so intently focused on something. And it reminds me of that quote that's like, the human mind is like the eye of a microscope. What we focus on expands. So what you're focusing on is expanded to become your whole reality. So you just have to soften your gaze. Soften your gaze is a big one, because when you soften your gaze, you kind of start to see out from like the periphery. And I've gotten this in another reading where you may sit very far forward, at least now, like very far forward in your energy. Like, you ever seen somebody walking and it's like they kind of walk like they're skiing down a mountain, like their front half is like forward, and it's because they're ahead of themselves, like kind of walk straight up and down, like you're kind of here in this moment. So I think like when you get nervous and when you get stressed out, it's like you're trying to get away from it so much that you're kind of that person that's like walking like this, or you're trying to get through it so much, and you just like, but it's like the way of doing this is to relax in your energy and to accept and to broaden your energy. And that's when you can start getting the messages and stuff, because it's not that the messages aren't coming in, it's just that it's like that you're not getting the messages, but they're really saying it's the way you're situated in your body, the way that your soul is situated in your body. That's just what's causing the messages to kind of miss you. So it's like, make sure you're taking care of your body, to like have a good relationship with your body, take care of your body, get it moving, get it some good food, heart healthy diet. I just heard send some love to your body, because your body literally is like the channel through which you're going to hear messages. And then like try to actively calm your energy, whether you meditate, whether you get into a bath, whether you take yourself for a walk, whatever you do, whether you watch a funny movie, like, but try to calm your energy down, like actively try to do that, because they're like, you've never been alone. And again, I'm hearing that song, You Are Not Alone. And some of you need to listen to that by Michael Jackson and just cry, like in the shower or something. Because you're not alone. That's what they're saying, is like, you're not alone. You've never been alone. When you look back and you saw only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. You're not alone. You're a lot of things, and some of them may be unpleasant right now, okay? That's true. But what you're not is alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. Yeah. Okay, change. And then it literally says, I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. So again, you might need to move. And one message that Spirit is going to work you up to understanding is that location matters. Okay, so I don't know what location is, but I feel like it's already pricked up on your radar that location matters. The people that you're around matters. So it's like some of you, it's like you think you have a singular problem, okay? But what you have is a location problem. And Spirit's going to help you understand that. Don't make any rash decisions. Spirit needs you to do the things that I just said. So before you can start processing what they mean by a location change, and where you can actually trust that. And some of you should get some wind chimes. Again, that you don't find annoying, or wind chimes are like a sign for you. The winds of change. And when you hear the wind chimes, think about the winds of change. Or you might want to get one of those weather vanes, because I'm also hearing that the direction that the wind is coming from may be relevant too. Like when the wind gets your attention, either because of a weather vane, like the direction that the wind is coming from may have some information. Because there's tribes like of the northeast, southwest, like and the medicine wheel. So you might want to study the medicine wheel. You might want to study the 4 sacred directions. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm giving you a bunch of homework. And do try to connect with your tribal ancestry. So some of you do have some kind of tribe, and I just heard it doesn't matter how big or small. It's still in your blood, it's still in your veins, and it calls to you. And they're just showing me a horse that just like materialized out of like the ether, kind of like in Frozen, the second one, where the horse kind of comes out of the sea. They're showing me, but like coming out of your blood space. that horse is like coming up to show you a different way. Because I'm hearing like those tribes, like the tribal cultures, I get this a lot. They did something to the blood. They tended the blood with ritual and like sacrifice or something that meant that you could always have access to their wisdom. All you had to do was call upon it. And that's what they're doing. All of this, but the key is in the body. That's what I'm getting. Like you have access to this wisdom, and it's coming from an ancestral space, but it's like, take care of, yeah. Oh God. I just feel like that was a major aha moment, but it was like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Of course. Like, but it's like the Western world, especially to women, it's like, we're all taught that our bodies aren't good enough and to hate our bodies. And that we've got to like nip and tuck every little thing and like squeeze ourselves into stuff. And it's pain. Beauty is pain. Right. And they're like, no, like your body is get to know the innate beauty of the body. Get to know like the wisdom of the body, the miracle that unfolds like just being in a body every single day. I also think some of these men that you've been attached to, that's part of the pain that they've caused with you and your own body, because there could have been a rift here where, again, they chose somebody over you, somebody that had a very different body to you, somebody who related to their body in this kind of like squeeze it in like kind of way, put you in competition with somebody else, made you kind of like look at your body kind of just like, oh, like, and I heard no. That a man should never do that. A man should smudge your lipstick, not your mascara. That's a Marilyn Monroe quote. So for some of you, it's like, it is important that you let go of this energy that desecrated your temple, degraded you in some way, made you feel second best. And for some of you, it's like you versus them. You have to cut loose of that person because of the way that it makes you feel about your body. It's actually blocking your own intuition. And I just heard Spirit, when you do that, Spirit is going to get you involved with somebody who like can't get enough of that body, sweetie. Like loves that body. You're their number one pick in the draft. You are their ideal body type. Like everybody has their own like different preferences. So what if that person had like a different preference and they were so like mind boggled or enamored with someone else that they just couldn't see you for who you are? Let that person get wrapped up in their own like wants and their own choices. But it's like, you have to let go of that because you have to start having this loving relationship with your body. And I'm telling you, there's like tribal information, lineage information that's going to come up potentially through like the sexual act that you have like with another person. Yeah. So, okay, Elena, like some people are asking about cleanses, and I do just want to put it out there. Please don't do anything dangerous to your body. This is about learning how to love your body. And I will say that all the doctors that I follow on YouTube and I find to be reputable, they all say that one thing and one thing alone cleanses your body, and it's your liver. So, if you want to like, you can like try to take care of your liver, like milk thistle or something like that. But, try not to do anything that's gonna pretend to be healthy, but that's actually going to not be healthy. Yeah. Okay. And I'm hearing as well, like if you did get involved with a masculine energy that made you feel less than because of your body, that person, that's kind of how they're a hidden enemy to you. And it's also how they've kind of divorced you from yourself. And it's part of the healing process. It's why you do kind of have to get away from them or cut the ties to them because, it's blocking your relationship and your own conversation with your own body. And it's something that it's not frivolous. You need to take that absolutely seriously. You need to be a protector of your own like body space. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Dee Dee. And this is your guides showing up too. And like literally that's what I'm getting is like, we're trying to tell you guys this stuff all the time. And we love you so much. And I think it kind of actually hurts that they feel like you feel you're alone or that you feel like they're not helping you. They can't do it for you. And there are truly some people who like, it's never going to be enough because like they just expect their guides to like do it for them or to make it like absolutely clear, but you're always being communicated with. You really are. It's just I just heard The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. That might be a book that you want to read, but it's like a subtlety, getting in touch with subtlety, having appreciation for subtlety. They speak to you in the subtlety and through the body. And they want you to be nicer to your body. So, okay. That's what I'm getting. Yeah. That which has been sullied by the distorted masculine can be sanctified by the divine masculine. Yeah. And you step into divine masculine energy of you being the protector of your own soul and of your own energy and of your own self-esteem and of your own body, then you're going to manifest that in your external reality. You are going to manifest a masculine who is protective of those things as well, and who is going to make sure that you feel beautiful. And yeah. Building a better relationship with my body after really coming to terms with SA has been an ugly process. Yeah. Yes. Okay, that was really intense there at the end. it's so weird too, because when I was calling out that masculine energy, I felt wrong for doing it. Where it's like somebody else, like I felt wrong. Like, I don't know. I almost feel like that masculine energy was like, oh, I don't want to look at myself as like, but I felt wrong for doing it. So I don't know if some of you feel wrong for like just saying like, you have made yourself an enemy to me. You have made me look bad at myself. Like, not that they have made you do it necessarily, but it's like me getting involved with you and how you look at me is not healthy for me. Like, you know, I don't know, something like that. It's like maybe a hard truth that somebody here like, and I think somebody here would hate to know that they like had that effect on you, because I think somebody here does think that you are very beautiful. Anyways, you guys know how I do. I could just like talk forever, and Chipotle waits for no man. I'm kidding. Darn, I think I've disappointed my guides. No. They just, it's a language thing. It's an adjustment thing. Like they just want to help you get adjusted so that you guys are like speaking more. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just going to take some time to address something personal really, really quick, and then I'm going to get off here. So I think I do know who you are, why you were blocked on Patreon. So this is something that I do kind of at the beginning. I do go through and I do block people and energies for a lot of different reasons. And I kind of am picking up, like, if you are who I think you are, because more than one person has gone through that. I do this regularly. I kind of prune. I don't owe you too much of an explanation, because I do just get to take care of my own space. And you are a person who has continually come at me with this kind of like personal energy. You're demanding of my attention in a way that I do not consent to and that I don't like. This to me feels aggressive. When you come up here, regardless of what your intention is, the way that it's being received is that I'm working right now. Like I'm at work right now. And, you know, I'm interacting with a community. I'm servicing a lot of people. And you bringing this up in a very public way, even though you say that like it's something, it feels very aggressive to me. And I do not want to have this conversation with you, because I don't trust you to. Like, I don't know what you're about to write on this, but it's like, I don't trust this. If you are who I think you are, I think you're a person who comes off very reasonable. I think that we had an interaction in a live stream a while ago that where I was picking up on something very intuitively, and I said that, and you felt disrespected by that. And again, it's kind of what I was talking about with Brandolini's law of like, I don't know who you are. Like in reality, I'm just kind of going off of an intuition. And if you want to call me all kind of negative things or say that I'm being disrespectful for picking up on my intuition and talking about it, then that's one thing. But like, you can even hear the shaking in my voice, like essentially interacting with people like that, who I feel like want to like make, like, essentially it's kind of putting a wedge between myself and my intuition. I'm not saying that I'm not wrong at all times, but there was no reflecting, there was nothing. And there was just a lot of accusational energy, but it was under the guise of like being very reasonable. It's not something that I want to deal with. You can apologize. It's just like, the thing is, I'm really sorry. It's just that I can't reach you on Patreon since I've been blocked. Yeah. Well, it's not something that it's for another group. You're really taken aback. And so was I. And the thing is, I have to be able to navigate in this space. And I don't mean any ill will towards you. I really don't. I hate that this is now on a live stream that I've produced for like a lot of people. You know, this is so, to me, this is something that I just don't want to get into this, you know? You're really taken aback. Yeah, like I was also taken aback at the way that, again, that I felt like I was being accused, or like, and I went back and I watched that live stream, just so you know, because you were saying like, oh no, like, I remember whatever that message was, it was like your guides were really asking for you to look at yourself and consider that it was like, they were, again, it was that holding your feet to the fire kind of an energy. They were saying, no, we need her to consider this. So I kept saying that, and I knew that I really needed to hold a strong wall there. But even then, I was like, I remember saying something like, it could have been your dad. I mean, it could be your dad, but I'm really hearing this very strong. I watched back, and I more than gave a room and elasticity. But the way that you were speaking to me was just that you said something that I was telling you not to trust your own intuition. There's a very fine line here when we're talking about, I'm getting a message and I'm getting my own intuition, and I need to put it out there the way that the message is coming through. And me, like, you were saying something like, like, aren't I gaslighting you or something? That is not gaslighting. Like, I understand that, but it is so dangerous for you to put something like that into my head when it's like, I'm trying to navigate through an energetic space. For you to like say that I'm being so poorly intentioned towards you, that was not cleared up between the two of us. And, no, if you have a question, ask a question. If you want to understand what happened, ask what happened. I'm telling you, there was like and again, like, you can feel disrespected, but it's like, I don't want this kind of a relationship. Like, I didn't say that at all because I felt like it didn't need to be said. Like, I think this is something that you could have kind of worked through about yourself. I think, like, you're a person, you said that you watched my readings for a long time. You said that you've really gotten a lot out of this. I think that I've more than like kind of shown who it is that I am. Are you feeling protective of me? Like, do you feel like I should wrap this up? Because I feel like this right now is not serving me at all. Like, I don't like being so vulnerable. I've said that time and time again on these live streams. There's certain things that I feel like I just don't owe to people. And I don't think that you get to like come at me with a certain thing. I think that my energy and my intention is plain. I think it's easy for people to see. I think it's something that it's like just to accuse me of being so poorly intentioned because I understand that you had an experience. I understand that. I deal with that all the time. I deal with heavy issues. I have to trust my intuition because otherwise, like, all of this goes away. The people that are here are gathered here because we're tapping into intuition. I know that I'm not always going to be right, but to just have that, like, to be accused of being like malintended when I just feel like I show up and I give a lot, like, no, it's not something that I have any room for. You're feeling protective of me? Yeah. No, like, you say that, but then like you've responded in another way. But I understand that when you do, it's like you're speaking very calmly and you're speaking very reasonably. There's an energy behind it. And that was the crux of what came through in that original message, is that there's an energy behind it. There's something here that needed to be looked at. And like, we didn't even get through the rest of that live stream with you even just like pausing or reflecting or thinking about it or swishing it around in your mouth, which was the crux of like the issue that the guides were trying to get across. And I understand that maybe sometimes I'm not always like as eloquent as I possibly could be. I understand that sometimes I'm not 100% perfect and that sometimes people have to give me a little bit of grace. But it's like, and I also, whenever I get insulted, and I'm not saying that this is you, like, this is like sometimes with other people when they bring certain things to me, when I get like insulted, usually people, it's more than just a compliment sandwich. It's like, I get one compliment and then I get it backhanded, and I get a compliment and then I get it backhand. And it's like, no, like, I understand that, like, I don't always say things. You know how like it's so hard to get up here and to get into these very hard things to talk about. These are heavy issues sometimes that come through. And to know that, like, I might fumble around with my words. I might not say things the best way that I possibly could. I don't know what's going to be right for one person and what's right for another person. And I also realize sometimes too, like, spirit, the way that spirit will want me to say a message is like much more direct than I'm comfortable with saying it, because if I softball it, it's not going to get across the way that spirit needs to. I'm working out so much of my own junk here, and I'm a person too. And I am under no pretenses that I'm going to be perfect. But like, if you're going to step to me, like, you have to give me my own sovereignty. I have a lot of people who if I don't know, it's like I can't debrief on such a deep level with like everybody all the time over every emotion that I made them feel in a reading. It takes too much from me. It takes too much from me. You are taking too much. That's ultimately what it comes down to. And I know that you don't get it, and I know that you didn't mean to, but it's just not okay. The way that I was being treated, and this is like on an energetic level, it's not okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I just want to throw it out there. It's like, I mean, like, I don't even like this. I feel pushed to my limit here. I was trying to avoid all of this, but you kept coming at it. Like, even this, again, I understand, but it's like, I blocked you on a couple of platforms. You reached out on a business platform and now you're showing up here. This is very aggressive. This is very persistent. This is very picking. It's a very eroding kind of an energy. So I think like sometimes you can maybe get distracted with your words and like, well, I'm saying very nice things, but like your actions are coming across very disrespectful. Like, I don't feel considered. Obviously, I made my boundary clear. You're here now. We're having this conversation. I feel like I made my boundary very clear. You say I don't owe you anything. Clearly I do. Because you needed, right? You needed that explanation. You needed. I needed some things too that I felt like I made clear. Am I okay?
Yeah. I just want to say something for myself here too. I just hope that anybody who is interacting with anyone else in an online platform, especially where somebody's putting themselves out there, that they understand that nobody has a right to anything, and whatever you need to find it for yourself. And the fact of the matter is sometimes there may be misunderstandings, or there may not be, but regardless, I think we just need to understand that if we're just interacting anonymously online, that we just need to respect the fact that if somebody needs to hold a boundary to somebody that they don't actually genuinely have a relationship to because we're just random strangers on the internet, right, all of us, that should just be okay. And you just let that happen and just go, oh, well, looks like they need to hold a boundary. Maybe there's a misunderstanding, maybe there's not, but nobody deserves anything from anybody on the internet. That's just the way it is. Like, we're not talking about, in-person relationships. We're talking about random strangers on the internet, and none of us deserve anything.
Well, it's also hard for me because it's like, I don't know who to trust. Like, sometimes. Like, I would have so much more, like, relationships and connections with certain people. But you have to understand that I don't know who to trust. And, like, you have to let me come to you. Like, especially if and warm up to you. There are people that I have met from this platform that I feel like I've warmed up to quite a lot, and I actually am very trusting and I'm very open, but it's like they've let me kind of like come around to them. You needed to be told up front. I didn't want to be spoken to. What? And like the other thing too, it's like I think you were the one, I don't remember, because some people I get a lot of information like being thrown at me. Like, there's so much more that I would say to people that reach out to me one-to-one. Because some people have. And again, it's like, I understand that there is a misunderstanding, like a lot of times. But I don't like to defend myself because, again, like I think when you get involved with somebody who is malintended, they just weaponize that. Like you being like on the defense, which is especially why it's like, I don't know you. Like I've been around people that I trusted for like years and years and years that like used a lot of things against me. Like I've opened up about my story here, like my own, oh my gosh, I don't think I told you who it was, but like a person who's very close to me did like, if that's not a guarantee to trust somebody who like brings you into this world, like, of course, I don't know who you are. I would open up. I would be more vulnerable. I would tell you my side of the story if I trusted that it was safe. And everything about the way that this has unfolded, words aside, the way that everything is unfolded between the two of us makes me feel like you're not a safe person. Makes me feel like you're not looking to see. Like you need me to actually like say it out loud. I feel like I've said it in multiple ways. Like what I've needed here. And the fact that this is still, like I still couldn't protect myself from you. That's like how this is coming across. I still could not protect myself from you. I didn't want to have this. I didn't want this to happen to me. I don't feel like I owe this side of myself to most people. Just like willy-nilly. I'm actually a scared person. I'm a very private person. I wouldn't go this far with a lot of people that I do know like in my day-to-day life. I feel taken advantage of. I feel disrespected. I was all but begging you energetically like to leave me alone. And now, like, what am I going to do? Like, and I have to process this over my Chipotle. You know, it's like, it's a lot. And I'm not trying, like, I don't know. I hope this doesn't make anybody not like me, okay? But, like, I'm a person, and I have needs that I can't always understand or advocate for, and I'm just like anybody else, just trying to navigate the world, trying to make sure my space is clear, trying to make sure I can function every single day, and sometimes somebody just hits me the wrong way, and it doesn't have to be something that you're doing wrong. It just is something that makes me and my particular life experience and preferences and, like, experiences, like, it makes me a bit squeamish, and I can't shut down. Like, I can't shut down. Yeah. No response is a response. No is a complete sentence. No, but do you understand those last two things? Like, no response is a response. No is a complete sentence. Because like saying these things, I don't feel obligated to forgiveness. I understand. Like, I mean this. Like, you're saying all these like really nice things, but like the way that you hurt me and the way that I feel like disrespected and taken advantage of and that I'm going to have to process now is like, no is a complete sentence. No means no. Like, no is a complete sentence. No response is a response. Okay. And, you know, oh my God, I'm going to cry. Not in a bad way. I watched this girl. Her name is Duchess Divinity. She's great. Amazing. I love her. She's so fully herself. And I appreciate that. And I watched, like she has one, like the blessings that are coming in for you. Watched it, at the beginning of the new year. And one was like, maybe you're going to learn this year, like a blessing that's coming in from you is that you don't always have to cut people off. You always have to be so like scared, and you don't always have to like be so strong-armed and like protective. So maybe that's what I'm learning here. And even though this was really scary for me, it's fear more than anything. It's fear. Like maybe we can work towards unblocking you, and we can try to take the relationship. Like, I'm so torn because I don't want other people who may be watching this who are genuinely trying to disrespect me or something. Like, I don't want them seeing this and feeling like they can mess with me. And that if I say no, or if I establish a boundary, that all you have to do is like mess with me on a live stream or something. And that's the way to get back in. I don't want anybody learning that lesson. Okay. Because I hold my boundaries and I'm very protective of my peace and my personal sanctity. And, you know, there's something like when you've had to cut off members of your own family, like I'm fine. Like I can take or leave most people, to be honest. Okay, I appreciate that. So, no. Like now I'm in the middle of a process. Okay, now I'm processing in front of 230 people. Yeah. So you needed to learn this too. I can understand that. So why don't we work on potentially unblocking you? We're gonna both try to learn from this. I just want everyone to know that, like, I do not have my shit together. Just to be clear, just to be 100% clear, I am not a person that has my shit together all the time. I have things that make me scared. And when I'm triggered, I tend to not really show it. Like, I don't, like, get big. I don't, like, lash out emotionally. I just get scared. Like, that's it. I just get scared. And if I have to make a hard decision towards anybody, it's just because I'm scared. I'm really scared. And it really centers around like who to trust. And this has been an exercise in that. So, and thank you guys so much for the support. And, yeah, everything goes through our own lenses. And I'm also scared that it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. It's very uncomfortable for me. To be out in front of people. This is also, I went to a Panache Desai workshop. That was like kind of a crazy experience. He invited me because I'm convinced he could hear my thoughts. And I didn't have a lot of money at the time. And I literally was thinking like, dang, I really wish I could go to that. And he was like, do you want to come to the thing tomorrow? And I was like, yo. So I ended up going. Well, he does like a lot of energy work, like if you're familiar with him. And so like we're all sitting in a big circle. Okay, there was a lot of people there. We had to have a microphone. So there was this one question, and I don't know, it was like we were all bearing our souls or something. And I felt fine like the whole time. I'm like literally sitting across from him. So I'm like, it takes a while for it to get to me. And then like he asked me some kind of question, and all of a sudden I just like start bawling out of nowhere. And it was honestly one of the most embarrassing. You guys know, like, why do I always have this experience where like I always end up like, I try to be this like strong thing, and then I always end up just like crying in front of everyone I know and respect. Like I do that like once every 10 years, like, and now more often. And so I'm like bawling, and it's like an ugly cry. Like I can't stop. I can't catch my breath. And I go, can I be done? And he goes, no. And I got terrified because I just don't like it, you know? And he made me answer the question, and I don't even remember what the question was. And I was saying like one word every 10 seconds, like just trying to like get through. It was horribly embarrassing. And that like is reminding me of now. I don't know why I was telling you this, but I don't know. Maybe this is an experience that I needed to have, because it felt like he knew that I needed to have it, and he was not letting me squirm like out of it and away from it. Yeah. Let's do that once every 3 months. Do you hear that? Can we just put this on a timer? Can you give me like some kind of heads up that it's going to happen. Oh, you guys, thank you so much. I get scared too. Oh my gosh. You guys are like seriously the sweetest, most loving people. It's so, and sometimes I feel like incredibly weak because like if I can't even be vulnerable around you guys, because I literally read your cards. Like this is another thing too. Like I dated this guy that was a trapeze artist and I was actually like really scared to get up on the trapeze and I didn't do it for like a long time. Okay. And then finally, like when I finally did it, because he was like the catcher. And I was like, after I did it, I felt so great. Like it was one of the most funnest things that like I've ever done. And like, he was like literally the person catching me. And I was like, I am so afraid sometimes that it's like, if I wasn't dating the person that like actually was going to catch me, I wouldn't have like trusted them to catch me. I just like would never have had that experience. And I was kind of thinking to myself, like, oh my God, like what I needed in order to like get over that fear hurdle was just like so much. It was way too much to like ask a reasonable person for, but yet it was there for me anyways. And I kind of feel like this is part of the blessing. Like me being in this position, it's like, I have to be in front of people and like, you know, try to be like a normal person, but like, I don't know. And it's scary. It's scary. It's scary. And literally I read your cards. Like this is such a it's the same thing. I read your cards and I can see that like you guys are so loving and like you're so caring and it's fine if I cry or it's fine. Like I know that. I see that in your energy. And it's almost like if I didn't have that, then this would just be almost insurmountable for me sometimes. So that's what I'm saying. I really mean it when I'm sitting up here. Like I do not have all the answers. I am in some ways probably the least advanced among like this group of people. In some ways, I'm the most cowardly. And I'm really, really afraid sometimes. So maybe seeing me be afraid can like make you feel a little less afraid. Get that side of queso today. Yeah, like me just crying into my bowl of Chipotle. You overthink so much. That's why I relate to you so much. And I was so sad to be blocked again. That's not okay. Yeah. 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 You can see yourself in both of us in this situation. Well, maybe we just did some energy work, or maybe there's a message in this. I don't know. You inspired me to start my YouTube channel. Nice. Nice. Stop calling yourself a coward. You demonstrate courage so much. Yeah, and again, you know, I always talk about those words that need redefining, and maybe for me, like courage and cowardice are like words that I don't really understand fully. Like I relate to them, but yeah, you're right. I know. I'm strong. Aw. Well, this was lovely. I'm glad that I'm building a repertoire of these readings for myself where I think this is the third reading. I know for a fact it's a third reading because once I do this, I never forget about it. And I always say, I'm like, maybe I'll take this one down at the end because this is embarrassing for me, but I've been leaving them up and I'm going to leave this up. And I just love that the body of work that I'm creating, because I just wish that I could just do everything right by the book. None of it would be emotional and I wouldn't have to bare my soul or be a person. That's my preference. Spirit is like heard and denied. So I love that I'm building this body of work that I'm like crying.
We're going to make a Jess's crying playlist.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I love that. So, all right. Yeah. And you know what? This was energy work. This was energy work because like literally I experienced all the emotions. Like I was terrified. I was like, whatever, we're going to go into this. I was scared. I cried. And I'm sure that is, being mirrored on your side of things as well, like going through a lot of different emotions. And I'm glad that we could come out this better and stronger. And yeah. And this is what building community is, right? This is what building actual relationships are. And I guess we're doing that here. So, okay. Make a compilation video of Alex and Jess crying on live. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I feel cleared and tired. Me as well. I felt it too. 2 tears rolled out. Yeah. I think I had 2 tears roll out too. I hope you can feel my energetic side too. I hope that, yeah. The crying coven. The crying coven. Oh Lord. Okay. So we will work on unblocking you. Thank you. Can I be honest? I was crying about this really hard last night and I felt a guy told me, trust us. They have their ways. They have their ways. And I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry that this had such an impact. I never even would have imagined. Like, because to me, it's like, okay, well, I'm just blocking somebody on a platform and, you know, I just need to do what I need to do. Like, I'm a bad bitch. Like, you know, I can do what I need to do.
It's true.
What?
I I said, which is true.
Which is true, yeah. But like, I just never imagined that like it would have that kind of an impact on somebody. And I'm glad that you're like sharing that too. And I'm so sorry. Like, thank you for everyone for being patient with this. No, and I'm sorry that I put you through that, because I never would have known that that had like an impact on you. I would just think that like it was just like not too big of a loss or anything like that. And obviously this is a spiritual community, and maybe that is something that I should be. You don't owe me anything. Yeah. But, you know, it's like, I don't owe you anything, but, you know, you did show up and you were trying to be vulnerable, and I want to show up too, because you showed up. It makes me want to show up too. And that's a different thing than owing you anything. It's like, I can feel this now. I can feel this now. I can feel this energy, and I want to meet it. And thank you for initiating this. Thank you for apologizing, even though you literally told me this. Oh my gosh. And I'm glad that we all are like kind of in this together. So, I'm crying and I'm laughing, and I am just gonna eat my Chipotle, I think, at this point. So this is another interesting live. Thank you guys for showing up. Thanks for being my fam and my community, even though I kind of am realizing that me keeping up a wall and trying to like, you know, be so like technical about this, because I also get like really afraid of people, again, like accusing me of something. So I try to like keep very sterile. I try to kind of like keep very out of it. And my guides like slowly started to like, the way that they give me some messages sometimes is they'll give me like an example from my own life, or like the way that I felt in a certain situation, because I've learned that just because I'm channeling information for other people doesn't mean that it's not also personal. Because I found like when you're channeling God energy, or like just God energy itself, it has this ability. I think that's what makes it God energy, is like it's universal, but it's personal at the same time. And I think there's something like honorable and truthful about tapping in. Like that's what my guides have tried to teach me, I think, is that it needs to be personal. Like it needs to be, it's okay to relate to it. Doesn't mean that it's not true if I'm not relating to it on a personal level. So they keep trying to pull me in, and like, I don't want to miss out on the fruits and blessings of this beautiful community that we are building and experiencing together, because I'm too scared to like just open up and like try to trust people. So control issue, dear. Yes, control issue. Somebody was like, how would you describe your Venus Pluto? This is how I would describe it. It's like, I want love so bad, but it's hard for me to like be vulnerable and to like be open. I have to go now too. Chaos Coven, Chipotle Coven, Crying Coven. We're multi-talented. All right, I'm going to go unleash this. We will get you unblocked, dear, as soon as possible. Thanks for being my friend. Okay, and thank everybody else for being my friend. And I know that some people were feeling very protective of me too, and thank you. That makes me feel safe, like to open up and like be in this space here as well. I saw that, and yeah, I'm getting the sides. I'm getting guac. I'm getting Chipotle. Eat and rest, you too. And okay, lovely. Okay, bye guys.